A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Kroger Tender Ray Beef. No other beef so fresh can be so tender. Presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. K is for Kroger. C is for cut. B is for beef. KCB means Kroger cut beef. And Kroger cut beef means more meat for your money. It's a fact, ladies. And here's the reason Kroger cut beef gives you more meat, less waste. Before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. Yes, that's before the meat is weighed and priced, so you can see that means more meat for your money. You get top U.S. government grades of beef, meat that's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. You get a better value in top-grade beef. For example, when you buy a Kroger-cut porterhouse steak, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes the long, stringy end and excess waste before the steak is weighed and priced. You don't pay steak price for stringy meat and excess waste. Remember, whether you buy a steak or roast, you receive more meat, less waste. But see for yourself. Visit your neighborhood Kroger store and get Kroger cut beef and get more meat for your money. And now, Hearts in Harmony. Jed Billings, Penny Gibbs' stepfather, has come home ill and in a wheelchair. Freddie Lang, who usually takes everything lightly, is shocked by the sight of Jed. As he comes down from Jed's bedroom...
Is that you, Freddie?
Yeah, Gibbsy, it's me.
Oh, Jed looks fine, doesn't he?
Well, a guy in a wheelchair never looks too good, Gibbsy. I saw it, but I'm still telling you I don't believe it.
Yeah, but he does look well, doesn't he?
Yeah, sure. He looks in the pink. But look, Gibbsy, a guy in the pink don't have to push himself around in those two-wheel cars.
Oh, I know it's upsetting to see him the way he is.
Doesn't make a guy feel any too good. What's the matter with him, Gibbsy? How come his legs won't work?
Nobody knows, Freddie.
Well, the docs know, don't they?
No, they don't have any idea what happened. Neither does Jed. Jed says that he woke up one morning and discovered his legs wouldn't move.
Holy mackerel. Just like that, huh?
Just like that.
Well, does anything hurt him?
No. No, he says he has no pain.
Crazy, isn't it? Really one for the book. Legs just up and quit work and bingo. Just like that.
Well, maybe just like that they'll be all right again, too.
I sure hope so. You know, I guess I never showed Mr. B much respect when he was up and walking around, but I sure did like him, Gibbsy, and I sure hate to see this happening to him. I wish there was something I could do.
Freddie, there's nothing any of us can do.
Oh, I don't know about that. I might help by getting out of the way.
What do you mean, getting out of the way?
Well, I mean checking out of here, Gibbsy. You've got enough to do now with your mother home again, and Mr. B is all laid up. Now, maybe I'd better move out to the farm with old man Williams.
Oh, Freddie, no, that isn't necessary.
No?
No.
Well, give you one less guy to worry about.
Look, I don't worry about you anymore, Freddie. It's nice to have you around. It's a help. Look, you're really the only man in the house, you know.
Oh, I'm a man in your book now, huh?
You're the man of the house in a way.
No, I'm not, Gibbsy. I'm just a boarder, a hanger-on, somebody to feed and clean up after. Now, I think I better check out.
Well, you can if you want to, Freddie. Nothing's holding you here. But I enjoy having you here, and I want you to stay.
Oh. Well, maybe you need the dough I've been paying,
Freddie
huh?
Lang, no, it's not that. You don't pay enough to make any difference, and that isn't a complaint. I wouldn't want you to pay more, Freddie. I wouldn't let you. It's just that, well, you're kind of part of the family now, Freddie. It wouldn't be the same without you around here.
It sure wouldn't. It'd be a whole lot different. A lot more peaceful, maybe.
Look, you used to be a worry and a lot of trouble, but you aren't now. Believe me when I say I want you to stay, Freddie. I have reasons.
Yeah? What reasons?
Well, I want you to stay, that's all. It's a big house. There's plenty of room. But even Mother and Jed's being here doesn't fill it up. There's still that room in the back next to the nursery.
Yeah, this house is a small-size hotel, isn't it?
It is a big house. And it'd be awfully empty without you.
Well, now, I don't know whether to like that crack or not.
Oh, Freddie, it's meant as a compliment, as an invitation to stay. Freddie. With Jed here, unable to get around by himself, you may be a lot more important than you ever were before in this household.
Oh. Well, golly, Gibbsy, I don't know what to say.
Oh, don't say anything, Freddie, except that you will stay.
Oh, sure. I'll stay all right. In fact, you got me wanting to stay, and by that you got me realizing something that I never realized before.
What's that?
You mind if I sit down and sort of get personal?
No, come on.
Thanks.
Well, what do you realize that you never realized before?
Well, it's kind of hard to say, Gibbsy. I never was much good at talking and saying what I mean and all that, but, well, you know what made me such a heel when I first came to Rossville?
You'd had a hard time with it, Freddie.
Oh, it wasn't too tough, really. What made me the rat that I was that I didn't belong anyplace, Gibbsy, and I resented it. I was always outside looking in, and somebody was always coming along and telling me to get moving. I didn't belong anywhere. Even on the outside looking in.
And now?
Well, now it's different. You remember when I told you I was very much in love with you, Gibbsy?
Yes, Freddie, I remember that. I'll never forget that, Freddie. I was very flattered.
No, you weren't. You were really annoyed. And I don't blame you either. I had no right to be in love with you, Gibbsy, and to tell you the truth, now I realize that I wasn't in love with you at all. It was just that I was just grateful.
Freddie, I wanted to help you. You don't have to be grateful to me.
Yes, I do, Gibbsy. You did plenty for me. You accepted me. Yeah, guy's lucky when he belongs someplace. Because when he doesn't, it's like not having anybody to talk to. Well, I don't mean just somebody to pass the time of day with, you know that, but to talk to about the things that you're thinking and don't want to keep down inside. No place to go to either. No home base. No place to come back to when you've gone out and got hurt or tired or even just plain disgusted.
Well, I've never known what that's like, Freddie, but I can imagine that it's a lonely existence.
It isn't the loneliness that gets you, Gibbsy. It's not owning anything but yourself. Not being anything but just a guy with 2 arms and legs, body and head and all that. It's not belonging anywhere or to anything or anyone that gets you. But you changed all that, Gibbsy. You made me feel as if I belonged. And I do now. I'm just beginning to believe that.
Freddie, you do belong. You've belonged for a long time. And you belong here in this house, Freddie. You're part of a family.
Oh, adopted, huh?
No, you're even better than that. You've made a place for yourself in this house, Freddie, and in the town. And there'd be a big empty space if you were to leave either one of them. Really, I wouldn't be the only one who'd miss you.
Oh, well, that'd be enough for me, Gibbsy, just having you miss me.
No, but you know that a great many people have missed you, Freddie. Mother and Jed and Johnny and the professor and Mr. Williams. And, Nora, to name just a few.
Nora, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Say, there's the number 1 dame in this world, Gibbsy, if you don't mind me being honest about it.
I hope she is number 1 with you, Freddie. You're number 1 with her.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what makes you think so?
Oh, she as much as told me so.
Hey, now that's okay, ain't it?
Oh, hello, Mother Cord.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Billings. Say, I hope I didn't stay in Mr. B's room too long.
Oh, I don't think you stayed long enough, Freddie. He was sorry to see you leave.
Yeah? Say, I'm getting real popular around here, ain't I?
You made him feel much better. He'd had a bad night, and you cheered him up.
I'll be glad to do that any time at all, Mrs. B.
How is he this morning, darling?
Well, he's better than he was when he woke up this morning, Penny. I think Freddie's the reason. Freddie made him laugh.
Well, I guess he couldn't help it. I say some awful dumb things without meaning to.
Oh, no.
Is Jed resting now, Mother?
Yes, I think so. He wanted to be brought downstairs, but I told him he'd have to sleep a little first. Penny, do we have any beef broth in the house?
Yes, we do. Nora saved it from yesterday. We had an idea that Jed might like it.
Well, I think I'll make him a little. Where is it?
No, well, I'll do it, Mother. I'll have to fix the baby's lunch anyway.
Oh.
Freddie, see that Mother relaxes for a little while, will you?
I'll make her take it easy if I have to strap her down into the chair.
Oh, why, I'm all right, Freddie.
Well, you may be all right, but you're looking tired, Mrs. B.
Well, these have been rather trying days. I slept well last night. Maybe too well.
Oh, it was a great night for shut-eye, I'll tell you that. I sure hate to get up and go to work this morning.
Oh, how is everything at the farm, Freddie?
Oh, it's great. Say, we made a profit last month. Not enough to retire on or to brag about, But at least it was a profit just the same.
The first month?
Mm-hmm.
Why, that's wonderful. Some businesses have to go a long time before they get out of the red.
Yeah, I know. I guess we were just lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Say, Mrs. B,
Yeah.
just how sick is your husband?
We don't know, Freddie. But the doctors say he'll never get out of his wheelchair.
Oh, well, that's a lot of baloney. Now, how are they going to keep him in that two-wheel jalopy if he wants to get out of it? They're going to tie him down into it?
Well, he wants to get out of it now, Freddie, but he can't. He has no control over his legs.
Yeah, I know about that, but look, I've heard of things like this before. Guys getting hurt in an accident or falling or knocking themselves silly, then trying to get up and not being able to move. But, well, after a while, they were up dancing jigs and jitterbugging.
Well, we all hope Jed'll be well and up again very soon.
Oh, sure, he will, too. You just wait and see.
That's the doorbell, Penny. Do you want me to answer it, dear?
Yes, please, Mother.
Excuse me, Freddie.
Oh, sure.
Good morning, Mrs. Billings.
Why, Dr. Bryan, come in.
Thank you. Well, how's the patient this morning?
Sleeping, I hope. You got the reports from the doctors in Mapleton?
Yes, I did this morning. That's why I've come to see you.
Oh, you have some news?
Yes, I do.
Oh, just a minute. Penny! Penny, it's Dr. Ryan.
Well, I'll be right out, Mother. Freddie,
Huh?
will you come wash the things on the stove for me?
Oh, sure, Gibbsy. Be glad to. Just as long as I don't have to wear an apron.
No, I don't think you have to when you wash things on the stove. But don't let anything boil over, Freddie.
Okay.
Hello, Dr. Ryan.
Good morning, Penny. My, you're looking lovelier every day.
You don't see me every day, I'm happy to say.
Successfully keeping the doctor away, are you?
I am doing my best, sir.
Oh, Penny, Dr. Ryan has some news about Jed.
Oh, Mother, that's wonderful.
Yes, I have news. I received the reports from Jed's doctors in Mapleton this morning, and I've studied them rather carefully.
Well, do you find anything that points to the trouble, Dr. Ryan?
Yes, I do, Mrs. Billings, but I don't want to make any direct diagnosis without examining him myself.
Well, can you tell the cause of the illness?
No, I can't. Any more than the doctors on the scene could tell. That's the baffling thing about the case, according to the reports. It baffled the doctors in Mapleton, and it baffles me.
Well, if you find the cause, will you be able to cure him?
A doctor never guarantees a cure when he's dealing with the unknown, Mrs. Billings. And there's a great deal of the unknown involved in Jed's sickness. Well, call it a sickness.
Look, Dr. Ryan, I don't know very much about these things, but, what do you mean when you say you can only call it a sickness?
Well, there's nothing visibly wrong with him. Not a thing.
Well, then, why is he the way he is?
I don't know, Mrs. Billings. I may never know.
But, Dr. Ryan, what about his getting well? There's a chance of that, isn't there?
I don't know, Penny. Maybe it's cruel to say, but I must tell you the truth. The way things look now, he'll never walk again.
Is Jed Billings to be confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. KCB. KCB. KCB means Kroger Cut Beef, and Kroger Cut Beef means more meat for your money. Yes, Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat, less waste, because before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. In buying Kroger Cut rib roast, for example, you don't pay rib roast price for excess bone and waste. The chine bone is trimmed, the waste and short rib end removed, giving you top U.S. government grades of beef that's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. And before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, waste, and stringy end. Remember, whether you buy a steak or a roast, Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat for your money. But mind you, you can get Kroger Cut Beef only at your neighborhood Kroger store. So go there as soon as you can. Step up to the meat counter and ask the Kroger meat man for Kroger Cut Beef. You'll get delicious and juicy and tender beef. And you'll get more meat, less waste. That means you get more meat for your money at your Kroger store. Listen in again tomorrow, same time, same station, for another thrilling transcribed chapter of Hearts in Harmony.
In just a moment, X-1. But first, Monitor takes you everywhere and brings you everything interesting, from news and on-the-spot interviews to offbeat features around the world. And Monitor also brings you the finest drama with original stories and Hollywood's top stars each week on Monitor World Theater. Now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC.
Countdown for blast-off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight's story, Mr. Costello, Hero, by Theodore Sturgeon.
It began the day the skipper called me into his cabin. I'd been a purser aboard the spaceship Star Climber for almost 12 years, and I'd never yet been asked to Iron Man's cabin. But then a lot of strange things had been happening on this trip to Borengwen.
Come in. Oh. Sit down, Purser. I said sit down.
Yes, sir.
All right. Here's a deck of cards. Deal.
Sir?
I said deal. 5-card draw. Go on, man.
Yes, sir.
Well?
3 of a kind, sir.
You didn't draw.
I beg your pardon?
When you play draw poker, you're supposed to draw. If you don't draw, you're supposed to give your opponent a chance to draw. Now, mister, did you ask me to draw?
Well, we haven't been playing that way recently.
Who changed the rules?
I don't know.
Uh-huh. Let me ask you something else. You stood a watch last night in the ship's galley.
Why, yes, sir.
Has anybody ordered a galley watch?
Well, no, sir, but it isn't against the rules, is it?
Against the rules? No, it isn't. Now tell me, does the cook mind having a man watching him 24 hours a day?
Well, no, sir. You see, that way he knows everybody can trust him.
You mean that way you know he won't poison you?
Well, yes, sir.
Now tell me, Purser, who aboard this ship suggested that the cook might try to poison you?
Well, I really couldn't say, sir. It just came up. Well, Cookie doesn't mind, sir. Really, he doesn't. He says if he's watched all the time, then nobody can suspect him, so he doesn't mind.
All right. Now, let's proceed to something else. How long has it been customary for the deck officer to bring a witness with him when he takes over the watch?
That's out of my department,
now,
sir.
think hard, Purser. Did you ever hear of a deck officer bringing a witness with him before this trip?
No, sir.
Or stand a galley watch?
No, sir.
Or play draw poker without drawing?
No, sir.
Now, one more thing.
Yes, sir?
We never had Mr. Costello as a passenger on this ship before, did we?
Mr. Costello?
Mr. Costello.
No, sir, we didn't.
Okay. Ask him to come to my cabin.
But
that's an order, mister.
Yes, sir. Let me tell you about Mr. Costello. He was our only passenger. Hello, Mr. Costello.
Hello, Purser.
Oh, am I interrupting something?
Not at all. Come sit down. I'm landing on Borengwen tomorrow, so I won't have much more chance to talk.
Well, I'll finish this later, Mr. Costello.
Nonsense. Honest men should be open with each other. Go ahead, show him what you discovered.
Well...
The Purser's a fine man.
Huh. Well, Mr. Costello asked me to show him in the space code what a captain can and cannot do.
Now, just a minute, Third. You wanted to show me, didn't you?
Well, yes.
So actually you're going over the limitations of a space captain's power of your own free will, right?
Well, I guess so, sure.
Sure. Tell the purser the part that you just read me.
Well, it's a sort of safeguard against letting the skipper's power go to his head. Like, suppose a time comes when the captain begins to act up, you see. The crew figures a lunatic has taken over the bridge. Well, the crew can send a delegate for an accounting. If the skipper refuses, then the crew can confine the skipper.
Well, isn't there something about the proceedings having to be radioed at the time they happen?
Now, there is a man who is absolutely fair. Witnesses for the watch, safeguards on the kitchen. I tell you, you're all good men here. Yes, sir, this is the safest ship I've ever seen. Gives a fellow a nice feeling to know he isn't going to get his orders wrong or accidentally find something in the food.
Yes, sir. I wonder why we never thought of that before. Oh, I nearly forgot. Mr. Costello, the skipper wants to see you in his cabin.
Oh?
Right away.
I see. Will you come along with me just as a friendly precaution?
Hmm?
You can wait outside.
Well,
in that way, both of us will know what happened. I'll never be able to say that you didn't give me the message, and you'll be able to say I went to see the skipper. Huh?
Well, I guess so. You know, that this buddy system sort of makes everything safer, doesn't it?
That's right, Purser. You can't do anything bad if you have a friend along to witness.
Mr. Costello and I went to the captain's cabin, and I waited outside. After a while, I could hear them shouting. That is, I could hear the captain shouting. Mr. Costello never raised his voice.
And let me tell you, Mr. Costello, that if my crew questions my sanity, they have legal recourse. But you can be sure that meanwhile, if a single man aboard questions my authority, he will learn that I am master of the ship, even if he must learn it at the point of a gun. Now, sir, get out.
Wow. You okay, Mr. Costello?
Yes, I'm fine. Did you hear anything?
Well, yes, I did.
Would you remember what you heard?
I think so.
Let's see. You see this little gadget, no bigger than a pocket watch?
Yes, sir. What is it?
Listen, I'll open it.
If a single man aboard questions my authority, he will learn that I am master of the ship, even if he must learn it at the point of a gun.
Whose voice is that?
Why, it's the captain.
Good man.
But how?
That's simple. You see, this little pin that I wear on my lapel here? This is a microphone. This watch is a magnetic recorder. I just use it as a toy, of course.
Well, I'll be darned.
You see, Purser, I'm a collector. What do I collect? Voices. Voices anywhere, anybody, anytime. Listen.
A lunatic has taken over the bridge.
Why, that's the third officer.
Mm-hmm. Listen to this now.
I better not, Mr. Costello. I wouldn't want you thinking I take bribes from passengers.
Recognize it?
Why, that's my voice.
Exactly. The time you brought me the special radio message from Earth Central.
And you offered me a blue gemstone, and I said that...
Listen to this.
I take bribes from passengers.
Well, if that isn't the end...
Cute, huh? Well, I guess I'll get back to my cabin and pack. When do we arrive at Borengwin?
6 tomorrow morning.
Oh, good. By the way, I'd like you to come see me when you put in there again.
Well, that's very nice, sir, but you're an important man, and I'm just...
Nonsense. I insist that you visit me.
Well, that's real nice.
Oh, by the way, what's the major trade on Borengwin?
Glunker.
Glunker?
Yes, it's a kind of soft fur. You can make a warm coat out of it that will roll up into a thimble.
You don't say. And the Glunker trade, that's carried out by trappers?
Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
They work alone and bring in the pelts.
I see. They spend a lot of time alone, huh?
That's right. You know, sometimes I envy them. I mean, working on a ship, you're almost never alone, and the way I see it, a man needs to be alone sometimes.
Correction. Only, I repeat, only if he has something to hide. Otherwise, to be alone is antisocial and evil.
We put in at Borengwin the following morning. I stood at the ramp of the ship and checked out the supplies and checked in the Glunker pelts that we were taking back to Earth. The Borengwin people were a nice, independent, easygoing bunch. I knew a Borengwin woman named Nola, and she came out to the ship to see me. 15,000 Glunker pelts. Check. 300 pounds of radioactive ergite. Check. Just put that shipment of show seed over next to the ramp.
Hello.
What? Well, Nola.
I saw your ship on the cargo manifest.
Well, it's good to see you.
Will you be on board when long?
Just for a day or so. Listen, I have to get this cargo checked in. Can we see each other later?
I'll be through at the spaceport at 16 hours.
Oh, good. Suppose I... Oh, excuse me a minute. Here comes our passenger.
Well, good morning. I see we've arrived safely.
Yes, sir. I expected you out before this.
I had a few items to get in order.
Oh, Mr. Costello, this is Nola. She's a Borangwena.
Well, it's very nice to meet you.
This is a real nice guy, Nola. See that he doesn't have any trouble with customs, will you? Nola works here.
Any friend of the purser?
Wonderful. Well, I'll say goodbye now. Remember to look me up, purser, next time you hit Borangwen.
I will. He gave me that big, warm handshake of his and clapped his arm on my shoulder. Gave you a good feeling to know that a big shot like Mr. Costello really liked you. I got the rest of the cargo checked in. Took maybe 3 hours. Then I was about to go in and ask the skipper for leave when a couple of guys with Space Bureau credentials came aboard.
All right, that's it, boys. Close the hatches.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Space Bureau. Is Captain Ireson aboard?
Why, yes.
You're the purser, huh?
That's right. Something wrong?
Would you mind answering a couple of questions?
Not at all.
Has the captain been behaving strangely this trip?
Well, not strangely, exactly.
Anything unusual?
Well, no. He called me in for a card game.
Mm-hmm. Does that happen often?
No, never happened before.
Was he upset?
Yes, I guess he was.
Okay. This gentleman would like you to answer a few simple questions. Meanwhile, I'll look up the skipper.
They took the skipper off the ship and left Borangwen the next morning with a new skipper assigned by the port captain. There was a rumor later that old Iron Man had been court-martialed or something. Nobody knew for certain. We made the rounds after that. Sigma, Nightingale, Carano, all the planets in the fourth system. We even went back to Earth with a load of blizzard skins and black prints. It must have been about, 16 months later that we made for Borangwen again. I was talking to the third officer.
Purser. I'd like to talk to you.
Go ahead.
We land at Borangwen tomorrow.
So?
I don't like it.
What's wrong with Borangwen? It's one of the best ports in the system.
It was.
What do you mean?
We got a radiogram from the Borangwen Customs a little while ago.
Okay, we got a radiogram. Some bureaucrat sent it. Nothing will happen.
Another thing. The way it was signed.
How was it signed?
Loneliness is evil. Port Captain Borangwen.
Loneliness is evil?
That's what it said.
On a government radiogram?
Mm-hmm.
Loneliness is evil. Where did I hear that before? Well, we touched down on Borangwen at 1200 hours. What a change. The spaceport was deserted. The only people who came aboard were 2 agents from Customs. They censored our tapes and checked our written literature. I finally started a conversation with them. Excuse me, sir?
Yeah?
There is a Borangwena named Nola that used to work in Customs. I wonder if she's still there.
I wouldn't know.
Well, the reason I asked, she usually meets my ship when it comes in.
Yeah, I see.
Well, maybe I'll look her up. She has an apartment on R Street.
She won't be living there. Try Central Barracks.
Central Barracks?
That big warehouse near the spaceport.
I thought they stored the Glunkerfurs there.
They don't use the warehouses to store things anymore.
No?
They need them for the people.
The people?
You haven't been on Borangwen since the Brotherhood movement?
I haven't been here for 16 months.
Well, you'll find that the people have moved into the warehouses now.
Well, what about the apartments? What about the homes?
They're used only for storage space.
I don't get it.
Look, we haven't got time to explain now. My partner and I have to get back to Central Control.
Well, maybe I'll go to try and find Nola.
Better take a companion.
What for?
They don't like soloists on Borangwen.
Since when?
Since Brotherhood. No ladder has a single rung, you know.
So what?
It takes 100 pair of hands to build a house.
Okay.
A single pair is useless. Not only useless, but evil.
I don't get your drift.
All humanity is made up of many parts. Any part that wants to go off by itself hurts the main thing. What good would your hand be if a single finger suddenly decided to go off by itself?
Listen, is this a gag?
It's deadly serious.
Well, suppose I want to go off by myself.
We'll help you.
And suppose I don't want to be helped.
Then you're a trapper, a glunker. You'll be sent into the bush country where the other soloists are sent.
Holy smokes, this place has gone mad.
Are you coming with us?
Look, just suppose that I want to walk across the field to the warehouse by myself, all alone.
You can try. But you won't get 2 steps before they pick you up. Take our advice. Get a companion.
I let them take me over to the barracks, the place that used to be a warehouse. It was unbelievable. The place had been completely cleared of every wall, every partition. There, in front of my eyes, were 10,000 beds, cots, and mattresses spread out over the entire floor of the warehouse. The light was blinding. Huge floods and spots bathed every square inch. Nothing was concealed. Even the plumbing, showers, tubs, sinks were lined up against an open wall. The agents came in with me and stood at the door. A cluster of Bornwyn people waited in a roped-off area.
This is it.
Wow.
The customs personnel are in that third aisle, going north.
I'll walk down there. Thanks for the company.
It's a duty. Wait. I'll get you a companion. Anyone for the third aisle going north? Third aisle going north. Yeah. Here comes a man. He'll accompany you.
A small, frightened-looking man detached himself from the waiting group and went with me up the aisle of the warehouse. The sound, the smells were frightening. Thousands of people milling around. No privacy. Everyone terrified of being alone. I wondered how this had happened. Finally, after an hour of searching, I found my friend Nola.
So that's the way it is on Bornwyn now. Nobody seems to know just how it happened. Just seemed better to be with somebody all the time. Then nobody could accuse you of doing anything wrong.
But somebody must have started these accusations. Somebody must have put the fear into people.
I don't know. It started with the glunkers.
The fur trappers?
That's right. We began to hear things about them. That they were thieves, that they planned to take over the city. Just rumors, of course. And pretty soon, if you didn't like somebody, you called him a glunker. Then there were signs. No glunkers allowed. You know?
Oh, I saw some.
We began to hear about it on the televisor, and pretty soon they appointed a committee to investigate and find out if there was any truth to the rumors about the glunkers. It was headed by Mr. Costello.
Costello? Mr. Costello?
He's a big shot now. Owns half the city, I guess.
Well, it can't be the same one.
Yes, it is. I've seen him.
When did everybody move to the central warehouse?
When the police started picking up soloists, everybody began to move in together. Didn't take long. That's the strange thing. How little time it took. I talked to Nola for a while, then I couldn't take it any longer. I had to get out, to get away by myself. I found somebody who was going toward the exit, and after a while, we were standing outside the warehouse entrance.
I'm going south.
I'm going north to the spaceport.
Oh.
Tell me, does anybody travel alone?
Sometimes we take a chance on it. I guess I'll have to take a chance right now. I'll be late for my job if somebody doesn't come along soon.
Where do you work?
That orange building right across the street.
Would you like me to walk with you?
Oh, you'll just get stranded there. I'll make a run for it. The street looks clear.
Well, thanks for the company.
Not at all. So long.
Hey, mister, look out, that car. Look out!
Why, you... Is he dead?
Yes, sir.
That was deliberate. I saw it.
Hello, Purser.
It's Mr. Costello.
Yes, sorry about the accident. My chauffeur was...
He tried to run away.
That's what happens to soloists. If he'd had a companion to warn him, to thrust him out of the way. You understand that, don't you, Purser?
I don't know.
Climb into the car. You can't go wandering about Borington alone.
Well,
Police will take care of the body. It's all right.
Okay, if you say so, Mr. Costello.
Drive to the spaceport.
Yes, sir.
Well, what do you think of our little planet?
Well,
I knew you'd like it. Just think of it, Purser. All humankind, a single unit. Yes, this is a people that has found the truth. It awes me. Makes me humble. Speak up, man. I'm your friend.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not sure I like it.
Well, take your time. Nobody has to make a man see the truth. Isn't that right?
Well...
That's right, isn't it?
Yes, I guess it is.
Fine. Yes, only the trappers refuse to see the truth.
Are they really dangerous?
Dangerous? They go out and spend weeks alone by themselves, don't they? Alone with their own evil thoughts.
Evil thoughts?
We all have them, you know. Even you. For example, you remember this?
Well,
this should refresh your mind. Listen to this.
I take bribes from passengers.
Your voice, Purser, and a very evil thought, too.
But that isn't what I said.
That's what's on the tape, Purser. Now then, I wouldn't use it against you, of course.
Mr. Costello, what is it you want from me?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, a minor favor, perhaps.
Go on.
Your ship is going back to Earth after it leaves Borington.
Yes?
You will have a passenger.
I didn't know that.
To be exact, a mentally deranged man.
Who is he?
His name is Hines. He's been the Earth consul here on Borington. He's been recalled to Earth to report.
You said he was mentally ill?
He is, but the Earth government doesn't know him.
Well, what can I possibly do?
I wouldn't want Mr. Hines to go back and tell them a lot of lies about what's happened on Borington.
Well...
Purser, I want you to put this capsule into Mr. Hines's food.
What is it?
Sleeping potion.
You think I'm a murderer, Mr. Costello?
Purser, do you know what will happen if this tape recording of your voice is sent back to Earth? Do you know what they do to pursers who take bribes? You'll be court-martialed.
You'd use it?
Only in the interests of protecting our happy society. Now then, will you see that Mr. Hines is properly sedated? You can get 10 years of Uranus. Well, Purser?
Give me the capsule.
Good. Ride over to the ship, driver.
The first day out, the Earth Council, Mr. Hines, was in his cabin, and I brought him his dinner. He was a tense, nervous little man. Here's your dinner, sir.
Put it down, Steward.
Oh, I'm the purser, sir. The steward's ill, and I'm helping out.
I see. Do you know what's happened on Borington?
I was only there a few hours, Mr. Hines.
Let me tell you, then. You won't believe it. Nobody will believe it. First, it was a little wedge, driven in the one place it might exist between the city people and the trappers, the glunkers. Suddenly, the glunkers were a menace. Then came the changes. You didn't have to prove that a glumper had done anything. You just had to prove he was a glunker. It all happened so fast. Pretty soon you were afraid to be alone for a second. There was a man named Costello. He came from Earth.
I know him.
You know him?
He went to Borington on this ship.
Then you must be the one.
The one? Which one?
Who testified against your captain for the court-martial.
What?
There was a tape recording, your voice and the voice of the third officer. Costello had them.
He used them to send the skipper to Uranus? I didn't know.
You must have known. What's happened to us? What's happened? What?
I got him into his bunk and gave him a sedative. Then I took away the food I'd fixed for him. I still had Costello's poison capsule in my pocket. I went down to the radio room and sent a message to Earth headquarters. 2 days later, we landed. Mr. Hines told his story and I told mine. I showed them the poison capsule and told them what had happened to the skipper and about the tape recorder. Within 24 hours, a task force of the Earth fleet was on its way to Boranguen. It wasn't much of a battle, they tell me. The Boranguen army didn't have its heart in it. That was, 20 years ago, I guess. About Mr. Costello? I met him again last week, right here on Earth. Funny thing, I was sitting in Central Park on a bench.
Well, if it isn't the purser.
I'm sorry, I don't believe...
Look closer. Don't you recognize me?
No, Why, Mr. Costello. I thought
You thought I was on Uranus? I was. I served 20 years. Mind if I sit down?
It's a free Earth.
You know, I'm glad I ran into you. I think you may be just the man that I need.
Need?
Yes. Let me show you something. Here, in this pouch. Recognize these?
They're just live ants.
Exactly. Let me dump them out on the ground.
Won't they crawl away?
They'll come back. Watch. You see, I put a little piece of this bread in the pouch, and I lay it on the ground. See how they crawl back?
Yes, all except that one. He's interested in that dead caterpillar.
Yes. You see, about 1 in 30, I discovered, will eat something different. Break away from the pack.
So what?
Don't you see, man? If we can find a way to make the others turn on that 1 in 30, if we can make the bread eaters think that the caterpillar eaters are dangerous...
They're not dangerous. They're just different.
What's the difference? Just so we can get the bread eaters scared enough. They'll turn on the others.
And then?
And then we can make them do anything that we want. You see what I'm driving at? If you think of these ants as people... Well, where are you going?
I'm leaving, Mr. Costello.
Why? Doesn't what I say make sense?
Yes, it does, Mr. Costello, except for one thing.
What is that?
I'm no ant. So long, Mr. Costello.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features The Claustrophile, an unusual story by Theodore Sturgeon, which turns common sense completely around and plumps it down squarely on its feet. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Mr. Costello, Hero, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Theodore Sturgeon and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Wendell Holmes, Mandel Kramer, Bob Hastings, Joe DeSantis, Terry Keane, James Stevens, James Dukas, and Raymond Edward Johnson. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Follow the news with Chet Huntley tonight on NBC Radio.
In just a moment, X-1. But first, after a hard day's work, there's nothing more welcome than an evening of variety entertainment. That's just the tonic provided tomorrow night by NBC Radio. You'll laugh your cares away when good-natured contestants carry out the rib-tickling stunts dreamed up by MC Jack Bailey on NBC's Truth or Consequences. Later on, Groucho Marx peps things up with lots of spontaneous good fun and more of the friendly insults at which he is so accomplished. For a brighter, livelier evening tomorrow night, it's Groucho Marx and Truth or Consequences on this station. Now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus one.
Tonight, Bad Medicine by Finn O'Donovan. But first, farmers know they can't stop storms, floods, or droughts from ruining a crop. But they can make sure things like that can't ruin them by investing in United States savings bonds. Not only farmers, but over 40 million Americans in all sorts of jobs own 40 billions of savings bonds. And why? Because savings bonds are the easy way to start saving and to keep saving. And the money you invest in savings bonds mean protection now and ready cash when you need it in the future. Improving the farm, sending the youngsters to college, or planning your own retirement. These are the big things you can be ready for with savings bonds. And besides offering you a safe investment, each Series E savings bond pays you back $4 at maturity for every $3 you invest. Yes, you earn extra dollars while you save, so start saving now. For the big things in your life, be ready with United States savings bonds. And now, on with our story.
On May 2nd, 2103, Elwood Caswell walked rapidly down Broadway. It was a gentle, misty spring day, and the air held the smell of rain and blossoming trees. But Elwood Caswell didn't smell the rain and the trees. He just gripped the loaded gun he had in his pocket. He didn't want to use the weapon, but he was certain that he would. This was justifiable. You see, Elwood Caswell was a homicidal maniac.
Why shouldn't I kill him?
Hey, look out, will you?
Oh, sorry, sir. Only the other day he said to me, Elwood, you're looking very well. What business is it of his how I look?
Hey there, Elwood. Elwood.
Huh?
It's me, Marty Klein. I work on the jet buses with you, remember?
Oh, yeah, of course. Hello, Marty. Forgive me, my mind was on other things.
Yeah, I know how it is. A couple of weeks ago, I was walking around a fog so thick you could cut it.
Yeah, really?
Sure. Preoccupied, you know. I had this idea in my mind.
You too?
Yeah.
The same person?
Huh?
Were you troubled by the same person?
My wife. Hey, you okay?
Oh, yeah. Yes, of course.
Well, I had this idea, see? I was going to get rid of my wife.
Kill her?
Kill her? I mean, send her to a country for a week.
Oh.
You sure you ain't sick?
No, I never felt better.
Well, anyway, I was going to take a week off. Quit the jet buses. Hey, can you imagine? I've been a jet bus operator for 10 years now, and all of a sudden, I feel like I can't take it for another minute.
I know how you feel.
And I was going to take a trip all by myself.
A trip?
To where? To the farthest place I could think, to Mars. I was just going to pick up and take a vacation on Mars. Silly, huh?
I don't know. What happened?
Well, I talked it over with Ethel.
Your wife?
Yeah. Ethel, she's a real sensible girl. You know what she did?
No, am I supposed to?
Well, Ethel went right down to that home therapy appliance store, and she says, you got a home therapy machine that'll cure my husband of this idea he can't stay on the jet buses?
I've heard that those machines aren't perfected.
They got him licked now. So, okay, she describes the trouble, and next day they deliver this thing, and boom, I plug it in, see?
And?
And a voice talks to me. It starts asking me questions.
Yeah, what kind of questions?
All kinds. Things I wouldn't even tell my own mother.
You told the machine?
Why not? It's only a machine.
Yeah, I see your point.
Well, then the machine starts to tell me a few things. And before I knew it, inside a week, I'm cured. Now, I can't wait to go back driving the jet buses.
You don't say.
So that's why I say I know how it is to have one thing on your mind all the time like that.
This machine, what did it cost you?
That's the beauty part of it. My Ethel. Boy, she's a smart girl. After a week, she sends it back, see? She says it don't work. So all we lose is the deposit.
I see.
Well, I got to get back to work now. Hey, Ain't you working the jet buses today?
Huh? No, I'm off today.
Well, I'll see you, Elwood.
Yeah, see you, Marty. What was the name of that place?
Where they sell the home therapy machines.
Yeah.
Home Therapy Appliances. It's right down Broadway, about 2 blocks from here. So long, Elwood.
Perspiring freely, Elwood Caswell continued down Broadway toward 43rd Street. His friend Magnuson would be finishing work soon, returning to his apartment less than a block from Caswell's. Elwood gripped the gun tighter. How pleasant it would be to saunter in, exchange a word with him, and then...
No, I won't do it. I don't really want to kill anybody. It isn't right. Think what'll happen. The authorities will lock me up. My friends won't understand, and... Mother would never approve. Still, if I see Magnuson, if I see his hateful, accusing face in front of me... Oh, this must be the store. Yeah. Home Therapy Appliances.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I show you some of our home therapy appliances?
I want therapy. Quick.
Of course, sir. This way, please. Now then, this is our new alcoholic reliever built by International Combustion Motors and advertised in leading magazines. A handsome piece of furniture. I think you will agree, and not out of place in any home. It also opens into a television set.
Look, what I need...
Therapy, of course. I just want to point out this model need never cause embarrassment to you, your friends, or your loved ones. Notice, if you will, the recessed dial which controls the desired degree of alcoholism. You see, heavy, moderate, social, light, and teetotal. A new feature unique in mechanotherapy.
I'm not alcoholic. The New York Jet Bus Authority does not hire alcoholics.
Oh, sorry. You seem the type. No offense.
Please.
You seem rather nervous. Perhaps the portable anxiety reducer.
No.
Well, sir, perhaps if you told me just what you feel is bothering you.
What have you got for homicidal mania?
I beg your pardon?
Homicide. The urge to kill someone.
Oh, of course. Well, let's see now.
Pardon me. Have you worked here very long?
A week. Oh, yes, here's the ticket. This black job with the chrome trim.
What is it?
This, is a Rex regenerator, built by Planetary Motors Corporation. Handsome, Goes with any decor, opens into a well-stocked little bar, so your family, friends, loved ones need never...
Well, is your homicidal urge a strong one?
Oh, absolutely. Don't confuse this with the little 10-amp neurosis model. This is a hefty, heavy-duty, 25-amp machine for really deep-rooted conditions.
That's what I've got.
Well, this baby will jolt you out of it. Big, heavy-duty thrust bearings, oversized heat absorbers, completely insulated, sensitivity range
I'll take it.
Yes, sir.
With me, right now.
Now?
Before it's too late. I'll pay cash.
Well, yes, sir. It'll be a few hours before the warehouse can...
I'll take this one here.
Well, that's a floor demonstrator.
Does it work?
All of our demonstrators work, sir.
Then I'll take it. I can't wait for a warehouse. I can't wait for anything. Have it put in a taxi for me.
Yes, sir.
Tell him to hurry. I want to kill my friend Magnuson, you know.
Who?
My friend, Magnuson.
Oh, of course. That'll be $400.59, sales tax included.
After Elwood Caswell left the store, the clerk, whose name was Haskins, smiled to himself and lighted a cigarette. He had made his first sale. He inhaled.
Haskins?
Yes, Mr. Follansby?
Smoking. I asked you to rid yourself of that filthy habit.
Immediately, Mr. Follansby. I'll use one of the display model denicotinizers at once. By the way, I just made a rather good sale, sir.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. One of our big Rex regenerators.
Well, now, it isn't often we... Wait a minute. Where's the floor model?
Well, sir, the customer was in an awful hurry. He was going to kill his friend.
You gave him the floor model?
Yes, sir. Was there any reason why...
Oh, grief, Haskins. Didn't I inform you we never sell a floor model?
But, sir...
Good heavens, I've got to get to him. What was his address?
Address?
His name, then.
Well, he didn't say.
Then his check.
But he paid cash.
You mean you just let him pick up the machine and walk out?
Well, sir, he paid cash.
He was homicidal, you say?
Yes, sir. His friend...
I don't care about his friend. Get the police. No. Call the Planetary Motor Security Division. Quick.
Yes, at once.
Well...
Excuse me, Mr. Follansby. What will I tell them?
Tell them, you fool. Tell them that one of our customers accidentally got that display regenerator they sent us. The one they shipped by accident. They were going to replace it tomorrow.
Yes, sir, the one they shipped by accident. Will they know?
If they don't be more explicit, tell them we've sold the Martian model. The one for treating psychotic Martians.
Meanwhile, Elwood Caswell had returned to his apartment and lugged the big black Rex regenerator into his living room. He put it down near the couch and studied it carefully.
He was right. It does go with the room. Now then, let's see those instructions. Place regenerator near a comfortable couch. All right. Plug in machine. There. Affix contact band to your forehead. That's all there is to it. Just turn on the machine and it will do the rest. There will be no language problem since your regenerator communicates with you by direct sensory contact, patent pending. Well, that seems easy enough. Now, I'll just put the contact on my head. And blast it. Hello?
Elwood?
Yes?
This is Henry. Henry Magnuson. How are you, old boy?
I'm fine.
I wondered if you were doing anything tonight. Thought you might like to drop over for a game of chess.
Game of chess, huh? You stupid oaf.
What?
Nothing.
I thought you called me a stupid oaf.
Yeah, just talking to my cat.
Oh. I didn't remember you had a cat. I thought you hated cats.
Oh, I do. This isn't really mine. It's a neighbor's. It keeps coming in.
Oh. What about tonight?
Will you be alone?
Well, yeah.
You haven't mentioned to anyone that you're inviting me over?
Not a soul. Why?
Someone's looking for me, a process server.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been avoiding him for days. I don't even leave word where I'll be when I go out.
You can trust me, Elwood. I'm your best friend.
Yes, you are. But not for long.
Huh?
Just talking to the cat again.
Oh. Well, will you be over?
Yeah.
In about an hour, okay?
Yeah, an hour will be fine. There are a few things I have to do
I just
first.
gotten some new laugh records from the boys at the office. I got something here that'll really kill you. So long, Elwood.
So long. I've got something here that'll kill you, too.
X-1 will continue in 1 minute.
Each of us has a personal reason for wanting to see cancer conquered. Steve Allen would like to tell you his.
I have a wife and 3 wonderful kids. And when I think about cancer going to strike 1 American in every 4, well, that's more than enough reason for wanting to see it conquered. I know that some people don't even want to think about cancer. But pretending it's not a threat, doing an ostrich routine, isn't going to get us anywhere. We've got to stand up to it and fight. We can fight, each and every one of us. Through the American Cancer Society, we can be part of the battle that someday will beat cancer once and for all. That day will come, but you and I have got to help. How about it?
Thank you, Steve Allen. Remember, fight cancer with a checkup and a check. See your doctor once a year for a checkup. It's your best cancer insurance. And to help conquer cancer, send a check to your unit of the American Cancer Society. Make it generous.
And now, on with our story.
Taking the revolver from his pocket, Elwood laid it on the table in front of him. His face became suffused with hatred at the thought of Magnuson. He poked at the gun with a stiff forefinger.
Magnuson, you no-good, shifty-eyed enemy of all that's decent in the world. The man who ruined my sister Irene. The man who... Wait a minute, Elwood. You have no sister, remember? No sister. Now, before you go off and commit murder, why not just try that machine just once, huh? Turn it on. Okay, now reach over and...
Good afternoon, Elwood. I am your mechanical therapist. You may call me Gloop.
Gloop?
You seem surprised. It is a perfectly common name here on this planet.
Gloop, of course. I've heard it many times.
Now then, I am scanning the material in your preconscious with the intent of synthesis, diagnosis, prognosis, and treatment.
Yes?
I find... This is a most unusual case.
Really? I thought it was simple homicidal mania.
There is, of course, no such thing. You are obviously hallucinating a set of symptoms. Nonsense syllables to enable you to avoid the real problem.
Oh?
A most unusual set of symptoms, I must say.
Your pilot light seems to be fading.
My light is not fading. I am merely trying to relate your symptoms to proven theory.
Well, as long as you know what you're doing.
Mechanotherapy is an exact science, Elwood. It admits of no significant errors. We will proceed.
Good.
First, the word association test.
Fire away.
I will proceed to give a word. You answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. Ready?
Ready.
House.
Home.
Planet.
Earth.
Just musing. Now, Fleeful.
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 That sounds like a Martian word.
Just give me a response.
Fleeful, Okay. I can make 'em up, too. Marfouche. That's a pretty good one, huh? Made it up in the spur of the moment.
Marfouche is very significant. It is a corruption of the Martian concept of fush clib. Very significant.
I don't know any Martian words.
Aha, noteworthy. We will proceed. Loud.
Soft.
Green.
Mother.
Panagoyas.
Pathamathanga. How's that one?
Anides.
Nexothesmodrassica. Top that.
Catif of snow-hell gnoptices.
Okay. Rigamaroo, Kalamazoo, Iggity-bibbity-boo.
Good. It fits the pattern.
Pattern?
Your neurosis. I can diagnose it now.
Go on.
You have a classic case of theme desire, complicated by strong dwarkish intentions.
I could have sworn I was homicidal.
The term has no referent. It must be rejected as nonsense. Now, if you'll just settle back on the couch, we'll proceed.
At precisely this moment, a tall, gnarled, ugly man pushed his way through the doors of home therapy appliances. His clothing, unpressed and uncaring, hung on him like corrugated iron. When the clerk, Hoskins, approached him, he flipped back his lapel to show a small silver badge underneath.
Sir?
John Rath, Planetary Motor Security Division.
Oh, yes, sir. Mr. Follinsby, Mr. Follinsby.
Yes, Hello, Follinsby.
Mr. Rath,
Well?
So far we haven't a single lead.
You're certain he never mentioned his name?
Oh, yes, sir.
Now think. Is there anything significant?
Is it serious, Mr. Rath?
Mr. Follinsby, this man is homicidal.
Won't it treat him?
Homicide is unknown on Mars. It'll treat him for the most likely Martian sickness.
What would that be?
Theme desire, Mr. Follinsby.
Theme desire?
It's a Martian illness in which the victim feels cursed by the tree-like nourishing parent, although, of course, Martians don't have parents in the ordinary sense. Well, Haskins?
I remember one thing. He mentioned he was a jet bus operator for the New York Jet Bus Authority.
Ah.
One other thing.
Yes?
I believe, yes, he was alcoholic.
An alcoholic jet bus operator. Excellent. It'll be on his records. Get the Jet Bus Authority at once.
But surely, Elwood, you remember your Gorisy.
No.
Tell me then about your juvenile experiences with the Forrestrian fleet.
Never had one.
Complete blockage.
My father...
There is no such thing, of course.
But...
I thought we finally agreed on that.
Okay, if you say so.
Now then, since you claim you don't even know what a Gorisy is, tell me what you imagine it to be.
A forest fire. A salt tablet? A small screwdriver? Am I getting warm? A revolver? What the heck is a Gorisy?
Why, the tree that nourished you into puberty.
No tree nourished me.
You have completely repressed the experience.
No tree ever nourished me.
Mr. Caswell, let me try to explain your case as best I can. Somewhere in your childhood, your Gorisy, or parent tree, stifled your theme desire. Now, this gave rise to your present urge to dwark someone in a Flendish manner.
To what?
To dwark someone in a Flendish manner.
Listen, you crummy piece of hardware. I have never had a Gorisy. I have no desire to dwark someone in a Flendish manner or any other manner. All I want to do is put a bullet into Herbert Magnuson. Understand? All I want to do is kill Magnuson.
Lie down, Mr. Caswell. We'll go over it again.
My dear man, I'm not trying to insinuate that the Jet Bus Authority hires alcoholics. If you will just...
Any luck?
It's a dead end. Now, Haskins.
Yes, sir.
A man's life may be at stake here. Now think. Was there anything else this fellow said to you? Anything?
Well, He did mention the name of his friend.
Of which friend?
The one he was going to kill.
The one he... Why didn't you say so? Now, what was it?
Magnuson.
You sure?
That's it. He said, I'm going to kill Magnuson. You know, just casually like that.
Follinsby, see if there's a Magnuson in the Manhattan phone book. Now, hurry it up.
Yes, Mr. Caswell, you were saying?
Well...
Something about your Goracy?
Yes, I was saying I think perhaps you're right.
Naturally. But right about what, Mr. Caswell?
Well, I think perhaps... Yes, I think perhaps I do remember my Goracy.
Ah! Now, Mr. Caswell, we're on the road to a cure.
Mr. Magnuson?
Yes?
Do you know a short, angry-looking, red-haired man?
I might.
Thank heaven.
Or I might not.
Can you tell us where to locate him?
You're a process server, huh?
Certainly not.
Don't kid me.
Mr. Magnuson, this man is trying to kill you.
Go on, you're full of happy pills. Elwood's my best friend.
Elwood?
He loves me like a brother. And if you think I'm going to stick some process server onto
Mr.
him...
Magnuson, I'm not a process server. Your friend Elwood is a psychopathic killer. You're his intended victim. Can you get that through your thick skull? I'm trying to save your life.
Yes.
You're Elwood Caswell?
Yes.
The Elwood Caswell who bought a Rex regenerator early this afternoon?
Yes. Won't you come in?
Thank you. My name is Rath, Planetary Motors.
Nice to meet you.
Have you used the machine?
Oh, yes.
I see. Mr. Caswell, I don't know how to explain this, but we made a terrible mistake. The regenerator you took was a Martian model for giving therapy to Martians.
I know.
You do?
Yes, it became pretty obvious after a while.
Well, it was a dangerous situation, especially for a man in your condition.
Yes, the poor thing tried its best, but of course it couldn't cure what wasn't there.
Well, then the company will, of course, reimburse you for your lost time and your mental anguish.
Naturally.
And we will substitute a regular human-type regenerator.
Oh, that won't be necessary. You see...
Mr. Caswell, will you put down that gun? Now, I warn you.
I'm not going to shoot you. I merely want to turn this gun over to you.
You do?
Yes, I'm not going to shoot anybody.
You mean that...
The machine's attempt at therapy forced me to reappraise my whole self. There was an insight during which I was able to get rid of my obsession.
You no longer want to kill your friend Magnuson?
Kill Magnuson? Why, I haven't the faintest urge.
Well, I must say, then, that it worked out for the best. I'll get back to the store and have him pick up this machine in an hour. And, well, sir...
don't forget to take this gun. I won't need it.
Of course. Well, nice to have met you, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Did you hear that? He asked me if I still intended to kill Magnuson. Magnuson, that inhuman monster who cut down my Goracy. Magnuson, the man who even now is secretly planning to infect New York with abhorrent fiend desire. Am I going to kill him? Oh, no. I wish him a long life, a life filled with the torture I can now inflict on him. Kill Magnuson? Oh, no. I'm going to start right now to work him in a Wendish manner.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Honorable Opponent by Clifford D. Simak, the story of an Earth general with the distasteful assignment of meeting a delegation of unmilitary clowns who arrive as conquerors. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. In a moment, tonight's cast and a preview of next week's exciting drama.
They took the blue from the skies, and the pretty girl died, and the touch of old glory flew, and gave it dream on America's team. We're a rugged and ready crew. And you can bet your boots the world looks up to U.S. Air Force Blue. To U.S. Air Force Blue. We know where we're going. We set our course. The stripes all live in the airport. They took the blue from the skies and the pretty girls' eyes and the touch of old glory's hue, and gave it to the men who proudly wear the U.S. Air Force blue. We proudly wear the blue, the U.S. Air Force blue.
Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Bad Medicine, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Finn O'Donovan and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Cliff Carpenter, Bill Britton, Alan Manson, Charles Webster, Carl Weber, and Joseph Julian. Norman Rose was heard as the machine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Bob Maurer and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Weekday, the companion and advisor to America's women, offers a new informative series on childbirth. It's the actual case history of a young wife, following her through the late stages of pregnancy, childbirth, and postnatal care. You'll attend the childbirth courses offered at New York's Mount Sinai Hospital, and even enter the delivery room for the actual birth of the child. Listen tomorrow for the real-life series, The Story of Birth. Then, on the same program, listeners can also enjoy more women's specialties, Kitchen Hints by Charlotte Adams, Child Care News with Dr. Francis Horwich, Vacation Ideas offered by Walter Kiernan, and another personal visit with your radio friend, Mary Margaret McBride. Don't forget the exciting dramatization each day from Taylor Caldwell's book, Tender Victory. Be sure to join Virginia Graham and Mike Wallace tomorrow on this NBC station. Follow the news with Chet Huntley tonight on NBC Radio.
The Magic Island is sinking into the ocean. It is sinking at the will of G-47 and the scientists, however, and no one inside the artificial island is in any danger. The strange isle of Euclidia is being submerged below the surface of the sea in order to permit a large fleet of battleships to hold maneuvers over it without suspecting the existence of the island. The Gregory yacht has been drawn into a submarine lock under the surface of the island, and Mrs. Gregory, Captain Bradford, and Jerry and Joan discussed the situation in the radio cabin of the yacht.
You said the Euclideans could destroy a battle fleet easily and quickly, Joan. Why don't they destroy this one?
I think there's a very good reason. You know what it is, do you not, Captain Tex?
It's got me, Joan. I may be a little stupid after my long swim, but I can't see it.
Well, the only reason I can think of is that this crazy bunch aren't quite ready to start destroying battleships or warships. But I don't see what they're waiting for.
Captain Bradford, you realize that those battleships are almost upon us. They will be over this position in an hour, if what you heard the guard say is true.
I know that, Joan, but how did those ships get so close?
Hey, I'm beginning to get it. They let those ships get within range on purpose, didn't they, Joan?
Of course, Jerry.
But why?
I got it, Captain. They must have seen those battleships coming for the last 200 miles or more. And the reason they didn't make any move to stop them was because they didn't want anybody to suspect this island. They wanted you to get out that pigeon. Then they figured to stop the pigeon and get the formula.
You are exactly right, Jerry. These Euclideans have great patience, and they will have many more chances to destroy battleships, while this was their last chance to get the captain's formula.
But they've missed their chance anyhow. The pigeon got away, and the ships are too near for them to go after the pigeon.
Yes, Mother, and G-47 will not attack those ships without the captain's formula, for he is not sure the formula has not found its way to friendly hands already. And in that event, Euclidia would live a very short life.
Boy, that's almighty keen for us, isn't it, Tex?
It sure is, son. That little pigeon is well on his way to Johnson's boat now. And if this battle fleet stays around these waters for a few hours, long enough for the Pigeon to reach Johnson's boat, and for Johnson to start running back to Los Angeles, we're as good as off this island now.
Out of it, you mean? We're inside the blamed thing now.
We are quite safe in here. There is nothing to worry about.
But inside this lot, we must be 10 feet below the surface of the water now. How about the air?
The air is kept fresh from oxygen tanks in the base of the island. There is enough compressed oxygen there to feed every chamber on the island a normal flow of pure air if we were submerged for a month. And even after that, for they have machinery for getting the oxygen out of the water around us.
Golly whiskers.
Well, Tex, it seems that we're comparatively safe at least. Though it's a strange feeling to be on board a yacht that's floating below the surface of the ocean.
Yes, we're all right until G47 decides to do something to us. And when he decides that the Pigeon is safely on its way, I think he'll begin to do things.
Tell us what happened to you, Captain. When the lock gates to the ocean were closed, we thought you had been caught outside the lock.
It was terrible, Tex. To feel the yacht being submerged and thinking of you out there, helpless when the island went under also.
Well, I was inside the lock before they closed the gate. But I floated out near the end of the pier for a while to hear what the guards were talking about. That's how I got the information on the battle fleet coming.
But how did you come aboard here? That's what I can't see.
Well, when you were all looking forward, at the lock gates opening into the island, I sneaked along the deck and in here. I was afraid to attract your attention for fear you'd give me away.
Then, when the mast was knocked over on the cabin roofs, you put out the light so we could enter the cabin without exposing you. That was very clever, Captain.
It was wonderful, Tex. And now we're all together again.
Yeah, we're all together again. But I got a sneaking notion our troubles are getting ready to get together, too.
What's up, kid?
Well, for one thing, the radio's smashed.
How much damage was done?
You mean when the mast fell and broke your antenna cables?
Yes, Joan. That wouldn't hurt the set here any. But without an aerial, and shielded by this metal lock, I'm afraid we haven't much of a radio left.
G47 and his transmission engineers do not use aerials. Yet their apparatus will send and receive messages much farther than your equipment.
Sure. They build their sets to work without aerials, and they've got electricity to burn. We've only got portable stuff.
Well, turn it on, Jerry. Open it wide now and leave it hot. We might pick up something to listen to.
Okay, I'll warm it up. But I looked at the winding, and this set wasn't made to do much without an aerial.
What does that mean, Joan, dear? That was the alarm gong, wasn't it?
Yes, Mother. That means to stand by all stations. I think they will submerge the island now.
Will it affect us any in this lock?
I think not. At least not until the oxygen supply is turned on. Then the air will feel sharp when you inhale it. That will be the only thing noticeable, I'm sure.
How deep will we go, dear?
I think to the bottom, if we are to clear heavy ships.
And how far down is the bottom?
The island can be submerged to more than half its own depth. The airlock in the ocean floor is 60 feet deep, and the island is only 100 feet in height. So if we submerge completely, the surface of the island will be 50 to 60 feet below the waterline.
That sounds mighty big to us, Joan. I'd like to see it done.
Would they allow that, do you think, dear?
I have seen it many times. Most of the locks have one transparent wall, so that you may look out into the water and study the natural life on the ocean floor.
I got the set hot, Tex, but nothing doing. I've tried every wavelength. Got it on Johnson now, but I can't even raise a signal from any of those boats around us here.
Well, we better go to work on that set, kid. Our only hope is to have some way of hearing from Johnson when the Pigeon gets to his boat.
That is the signal to submerge. Now the island will sink slowly into the sea, and in a few moments we will be many feet below the surface of the ocean.
That signal has a heavy, resonant, vibrating quality. Mightn't it be heard for many miles around?
I wondered about that too, Pat. Those battleships have plenty of underwater ears. They can hear a sub a long way off.
No, Captain. The Euclideans have controlled that in some way. The sound stops at the magnetic ring and does not rise above the surface of the island.
Old G47 sure thinks of everything, and then some.
I wish we could see what's going on. It would be wonderful to look up through the water and see a fleet maneuver from below.
What's that for, Joan?
The island has sunk to the first level, 10 feet below the water. That would mean that the little steel control chambers you saw on top of the island are just going underwater now.
They didn't get under any too soon either. Those ships must be within 20 miles of here by now.
Come in. Oh, you. I might have known it.
Gee whiz, now the cat's out of the bag.
Tex, you shouldn't have said come in so carelessly.
You need not reproach the captain. I have known for some time he was aboard.
I should have thought of that. Of course you knew it when you could not find him swimming near the island.
Precisely.
What do you want here?
Nothing. Here. You will come with me, Captain Bradford. You also, Cleostra. Follow me immediately.
Are you going to show them something?
No. I am going to put them where they can see nothing.
Was that the second level? Are we now 20 feet below the sea?
Precisely. Captain, Cleostra, come quickly.
And what if we don't care to come?
Captain, do you not see that ray gun in his hand? We will do as you wish, G47.
Joan's right, Tex. Jerry and I'll be all right here. Go with him and do as he says.
That's the spirit, Mrs. Gregory. They can't scare us.
You make up in stupidity what you lack in fear. Go. I will follow you.
Keep your chin up, Pap. Take care of her, Jerry. Mm-hmm. Come on, Joan.
Yes, Captain. We will go.
I might remind you, Mrs. Gregory, that I expect you and this young fool to remain quietly on the yacht. Your friends will return when I have finished with them.
Jerry, what's he going to do with Tex and Joan?
Now, don't worry, Mrs. Gregory. He's not going to do anything to them. Only put them where they can't see what's going on.
But why them and not us?
Well, he figures you and I ain't any too heavy on brains, I guess.
Why, Jerry.
Well, I mean, he's afraid Joan will get a chance to do something because she knows all about this island. And he knows Tex is liable to see some way to get an alarm to those boats. I guess he thinks you and I just sit in here and cry.
The third level. This is quite an experience, Jerry.
Plenty for me. But what I'm most worried about is that this radio won't work. And I got a notion there's nothing wrong with the set. It's all in the aerial. And this steel lock isn't helping me any.
What was that?
The anchor chain ran out and dropped the stern hook on the steel floor of this lock.
Of course. The skipper must have released it in trying to clear away the broken mast.
Well, it won't hurt anything.
J12C calling J24Y.
It's Johnson.
The set's working again. Listen.
Nothing more, Jerry.
Well, never mind. We'll keep the set open. Maybe he'll come in again.
Now we're down to the fourth level, Jerry. There should be only one more of those alarms.
Yeah. I wonder where G47 took Joan and Captain Bradford.
J12C calling J24Y. J12C standing by. We'll stay here indefinitely. Standing by. J12C will repeat every quarter hour. J12C, J24Y. That is all.
Oh, Jerry, he's standing by. Johnson's arrived at the position north of us.
Then he's within range of the pigeon Tex sent off. That's swell. All we got to do now is hang on and wait. Oh, how about it?
Can't do any harm, Jerry.
Come in.
Oh, come on in, Skipper, and close the door.
Aye.
What's on your mind, Skipper?
Anchor.
Yes, Skipper, we heard it drop. Did it do any damage?
Radio.
What about the radio?
Aerial.
Was the aerial tangled in the anchor chain?
Aye.
Gosh, then thanks for letting the anchor run out and hitting the bottom.
Why?
Because we didn't have any aerial at all till that happened.
Don't you see, Skipper? The anchor's the aerial now. It's touching the bottom of this steel lock, and the aerial's mixed up with it. Leave that anchor on the bottom, Skipper, and the aerial wire mixed up with the chain. We've got this whole island for an aerial now.
The Magic Island is underwater. 50 feet below the surface of the South Pacific Ocean lies the strange hidden Isle of Euclidia. The battle fleet of one of the great nations is holding maneuvers in this section, and the Euclidean scientists have submerged their island rather than run the risk of detection. The Gregory yacht has been drawn into a submarine lock with all on board. But now only Mrs. Gregory and Jerry remain with the crew, as Captain Tex Bradford and Joan have been taken to another part of the island by G-47. Jerry and Mrs. Gregory are talking excitedly about a radio message just received from Johnson's boat. The skipper is with them.
That's fine, Jerry. Then as long as the broken aerial is tied to the anchor chain, you will be able to use the radio.
I think so, Mrs. Gregory. You see, the anchor lies on the bottom of this steel lock, and with the aerial mixed up with the anchor chain, we've really got the whole island as an aerial.
Was that all you had to tell us, Skipper?
Did
you see where G-47 took Joan and the captain?
Nope.
Just let the anchor stay down, won't you, Skipper? And take another turn or two of aerial wire around that anchor chain to be sure it won't slip off. Will you please, sir?
Aye.
That's all, Skipper. Thanks a lot.
Aye.
The skipper don't waste a whole lot of time talking, but he knows what he's doing all the time.
J12C to J24Y. Regular quarter-hour report. If you are getting me, try relay to land station. No signal from you for 24 hours.
Poor Johnson, he doesn't know we're getting him.
Large fleet holding maneuvers near last position you gave me. You should be able to contact fleet if in same vicinity. Making no attempt to move to your aid as per instructions. J12C standing by. J12C.
Gee, I'd like to try sending a message to him.
I'm afraid it wouldn't be safe, Jerry. These men would be sure to intercept it on the island.
I don't know, Mrs. Gregory. We've got plenty of aerial now, and Johnson's only about 300 miles from here. It might work. But if their radios are grounded on the same framework, no use. They'd pick it up, sure.
The thing I'm afraid of, Jerry, is that Johnson may send one of the pigeons from his boat. And with our yacht in this lock, the poor bird would be hopelessly lost.
Yeah. Tex was worried about that, too. But I don't know how to send a message to him that G-47 can't figure out.
I know the code, Jerry, but it's too dangerous, and I think Tex would just want us to wait a few hours and see if our pigeon gets to Johnson's boat all right. Then we can take action.
Okay, Mrs. Gregory. I guess you're right. But it's a funny feeling to have a radio and not to be able to use it.
Jerry, did you feel that?
Yeah. Kind of like a little earthquake.
It was sharper than that. There wasn't any sound, yet I distinctly felt the boat shudder just a little.
Sure. That fleet's right over us. They must be starting target practice.
There it is again. And again. And again. Yes, Jerry, that's target practice.
Boy, I hope they don't use any torpedoes.
Or wouldn't the magnetic field around the island deflect the torpedoes away from us?
Yeah, if they're using the magnetic field. But I don't think they are.
Why not?
Because that would call attention to the island. And I think what old G-47 wants most of all right now is to keep his island a secret.
That's right, Jerry. And there may be a chance of a stray torpedo coming this way, though I think we're too deep for a direct hit.
I'm getting kind of nervous about Joan and the captain. I wish we knew what they were doing.
So do I, but I think no harm will come to them.
I'm not so sure about that. Let's go and look for them.
Tex told us to stay here. He wouldn't want us to move around and leave the radio.
Yeah, I suppose so. But there's no danger of Johnson calling again right away. He said he'd call every quarter hour.
I'll stay here, Jerry, if you want to go look for them. I'll be quite all right here.
No, ma'am. We go together or not at all. Tex left me to take care of you, and I'm going to do it. I got it. We can leave the skipper in here with the radio. Then we could go and know that someone was here to take any message that came in.
We'll do that, Jerry. Go and bring the skipper, will you?
Okay.
J12C to J24Y. J12C calling J24Y. Message just received. You must be in danger. Your position has given me impossible. No island at such position. Just received message from battleship. Engaged in long-range fire on that position. Reports no island. Ship has been getting me clear. Why no message from you? J12C to J24Y. We'll ask fleet to look for you. Standing by. Johnson.
That's a funny one, isn't it?
What's funny about it, Jerry? Johnson has been talking with one of those ships overhead, trying to check on our position. And they've naturally reported to him that there is no island here. There isn't, as far as the fleet navigators know.
But that's what's funny about it. How did Johnson get that message without me getting it here?
Why, Jerry, you're right. Our radio should have picked up the ship's message. And if we can hear Johnson 300 miles away, why couldn't we hear the ship standing within a few miles of us, possibly right over our heads?
For a mighty good reason. The ship didn't send any message.
You mean...
I mean it's a gag, a bluff. Johnson's trying to put over a message to us, telling us that he's near enough to know all about the fleet being right on our position and...
To J24Y. Johnson to Bradford on J24Y. Flash from fleet in maneuvers. Small cruiser or yacht reported burning at sea near your last position. I am going to disregard your orders and sail at once. The bosun threatened to go without me. Says it's an easy course and he can navigate it alone. So I have decided to go. If your radio is dead on the transmission side, but you can receive this, use manual signals to one of the fleet. I will contact them and pick you up. Sailing at once. Expect average 40 knots. J12C to J24Y. Will call from harbor at Pedro. Johnson.
No, it's getting more mixed up.
It's all right, Jerry. That was in code. And Johnson used a long story to cover up the 10 or 12 words of value he put carelessly in the middle of it.
Well, tell me about it then. I guess I missed it.
I hope G47 did, as it's certain they'd be listening to the message.
Well, what's it all about?
Johnson said the bosun was going to take the boat out without orders if he wouldn't sail. The bosun, Jerry.
Gee, the bosun. The homing pigeon. Boy, is that slick. And I missed it.
I wonder if we should try to find Tex or get word to him.
I'm not so sure about that. We might get all excited and give the thing away. And if G47 knows we're getting any message of value over that radio, he'd soon rip it out of here.
On the other hand, Jerry, it's only by allowing us to keep the radio and intercepting our messages that G47 has any chance to learn of our plans. No, I think we'll be allowed to keep the radio.
Well, we could send the skipper after Tex and Joan.
Yes, but I'm not sure, Jerry. Let's think on it a few minutes.
How about my trying to send a message to Johnson? Maybe we could word it so G47 wouldn't make anything out of it.
Well, it might be all right, Jerry, and it would help a lot if Johnson could know that the bosun was on his way to him. But it's too dangerous, I think. We'll just have to wait for Tex and see what he says.
Hello, folks.
Tex, where's Joan?
She's in submarine lock 6, right next to this one. And there's going to be something doing mighty quick.
What's going on, sir?
That last message of Johnson's. I was in the communication chamber getting a lesson on how hopeless our situation is here when that message came into you.
Yes, Tex, and did you understand it? Did you get what Johnson meant about the bosun?
Sure, I got it, but the trouble is that G47 got it too.
What?
Golly, that's bad. You mean G47 knows we sent that pigeon to Johnson? And that Johnson's close enough to receive it right now?
Worse than that, son. They've got directional graphs and range finders in that control room that make anything we've got look childish. And 30 seconds after Johnson's message came, they located him in their directional finders. And they know his position to the fraction of a second.
But, Tex, I know that's bad. And it will hurry Johnson into running away the moment he gets the message off the bosun. But after all, G47 can't do anything about it. He doesn't dare make a move with his battle fleet playing around right over our head.
That's what I thought, too, but I didn't realize how desperate these scientists are or how much that formula means to them.
But, gee, Captain Bradford, they're not going to try to stop that pigeon with all the battleships around here, are they?
No, not the pigeon, for they're smart enough to realize they can't afford to fight with this fleet just at this time.
But Joan said they could destroy battleships quickly and easily with their ray guns.
So they can, but it would bring the rest of the world down on them. And they're not just ready for that. They've got to have my formula first, and then they will be able to attack the entire world or defend themselves against it.
Gosh, what's it all about, Captain? They just simply can't do anything to that pigeon without the battle fleet seeing them do it. Joan said their large ray guns weren't accurate enough to pick that pigeon out of the air over 50 miles away. And he ought to be nearing that now.
Of course, Tex. You're just worried by seeing their wonderful equipment. Jerry's right. They couldn't hit the pigeon with a ray. And, Tex, more than that, we're submerged. They can't even use the air rays. And a submarine ray wouldn't hurt the pigeon any.
No, a submarine ray wouldn't hurt the pigeon any. But a submarine would hurt Johnson.
Golly whiskers, Captain.
Tex, not with this battle fleet right around here. Why, they wouldn't dare.
Maybe not, but they're going to just the same.
You mean they're going to send a submarine out after Johnson's boat with all these surface ships and maybe a sub or two of their own out there?
Just that, son. And I want you to go along with them.
Huh? Me? Me go in the submarine?
Why, Tex, you don't know what you're suggesting.
It's not a suggestion. It's an order. You want to sign on this yacht as a member of the crew, didn't you, Jerry?
I did, sir.
All right. Report to Submarine Lock 6 immediately for observation duty on the Euclidean submarine.
Aye, sir.
But, Tex, if anything should happen...
That'll do, Pat. Jerry's going with that sub. You'll follow the ramp back into this lock. Turn left at the end of the lock. You'll find a guard there to take you to the sub. Come on, snap it up. You're holding them up now. Shove off.
Aye, sir. Any special orders?
Keep your eyes open and your mouth shut. Use your own judgment. That's all.
Tex Bradford, do you realize what you've done? You sent that boy out there into certain danger. I could almost hate you for that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat. But I'm in command of this expedition, and it's the only thing to do. I wanted to go along, but G-47 was too smart for that. He figured I might be able to warn Johnson some way when we got near him, or beat them to the note I sent with a pigeon and destroy it.
But Jerry will have to stand by and watch them sink our other boat, with Johnson and the crew on board.
No danger of that. They want the equipment on board too badly. All Jerry will have to do is to keep his eyes open and warn Johnson not to resist. He'll do that. The kid thinks fast, and they were afraid to let me go.
Oh, I understand. I'm sorry I was so... Tex, where's Joan?
Joan? Why? Oh, she'll be all right. Jerry will take care of her.
Jerry? Then Joan... Tex, Joan is going on that submarine?
Yes, dear. G-47's orders. He knows we won't dare to make a move to contact this battle fleet or harm the sub in any way with Joan and Jerry aboard.
Joan. And Jerry.
Steady, dear.
I'm not going to pieces, Tex. I was just thinking how safe the future of the world is in the hands of young people like that.
Now step into the incredible, amazing future as we go exploring tomorrow. And now here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell, Jr.
For many years, a lot of us have been interested in considering the possibilities of meeting other life forms, other intelligent beings from other stars. Now, if there is life out there, some form of life, and remember, it may be beyond our most far-fetched imaginations. If there is life, and we have our own Earth ships going out in constant, regular deep space exploration, someday, somewhere, maybe even out in the gas cloud of the Crab Nebula. Sometime we will meet.
Step it up. Step it up, the scanner. Maximum. Maximum magnification. Maximum mag. More. Sorry, sir. Max is max. You see? Can you see? Now, visit, please. Quarter it.
Quarter, sir.
Step up the scanner. Step it up. Don't you understand? I've got to see. Nothing. According to the reading, Captain, nothing, sir. Sir, Captain, hold it. On the bow quarter. Huh? Solid object. 80,000 miles, sir. 1 o'clock. Unknown object changing. 12 o'clock. Sound collision. Make ready, Mr. Dort.
Now hear this. The captain will now address the ship. First, you've heard the collision alarm. You will all now take action stations. Man all weapons. Condition of extreme alert. Red. I repeat, red in all departments. Instrumentation tells us there is an unknown solid object less than 80,000 miles dead as we go. There is a locator beam on us. I repeat, there was an unknown locator on us, giving us unexpected feedback echo. Men, we are not a warship. May the Almighty be with us. That is all.
Mister? Nothing, sir. Now I see nothing on the busy place. But radio locator. Here, look at it, sir. Up and down, up and down. Something monstrous. Monster in size, sir. Making lunatic dashes toward us. At collision speed. Then skipping away at the same fantastic speed. We are not a warship. Here it comes. There it goes away again. All on radio locate. On busy plate by eye, nothing. Can't detect a thing.
How many solar systems in our galaxy? How many? How many planets fit for life? And how many kinds of life could there be? If this ship isn't from Earth, and it isn't, it has a crew that isn't human. And things that aren't human but are up to the level of deep space travel in their civilization could mean anything.
Yes, sir.
Something like this has been talked about and speculated about for years. Mathematically, it's been an odds-on bet that somewhere in our galaxy there'd be another race with a civilization equal to or further advanced than ours. Nobody could ever guess where or when we'd meet them. It looks like we've done it now.
Well, do you suppose they'll be friendly, Captain?
Thank the Almighty for the blasters.
Here they come in for us fast again, sir. Oh,
pulling away again. Yes, I can read the beam.
If you'll pardon, sir, the blasters are for meteorites, sir. They were never, were they, designed as space weapons?
They can serve as pretty good ones. Because we don't know what they're like, you fool! And we can't take a chance. We can't trust them the fraction of an inch. Sure, I know. Let's try and find out all we can about them. Let's meet. Let's try to be friends with that ship out there. Well, we don't. And you realize why? Because they have locators. Because they might trace us all the way back home without our knowing it. And we can't risk a non-human race knowing where Earth is unless we're sure of them. And how can we be sure? Do you know, Mr. Dort? Do you know, Mr. Dort, with your sentimental Pollyanna slush pile that calls itself your brain, your mind?
Unidentified object retreating against our locator, sir.
Back and forth. Back and forth, the game goes on. They're afraid. We're afraid. Oh, sure. They could come to trade, of course. Import, export. That wouldn't hurt. Or maybe these creatures will be aesthetic marvels, nice and friendly and polite, and underneath the Tojo type. Or am I going to risk the possible future of the human race on a guess that it's safe to trust them? The one thing I won't risk is having them know how to find Earth. Either I know they can't follow me or I don't go home. And they probably feel the same way. Ready to ship for supplemental command.
There, sir. By sight, on the busy plate.
I see it. For the first time by eye. It's a small...
No, sir. It's bigger and bigger.
Bulb. Bulbous shape, like a pear.
Headed for us at extremely high acceleration, sir.
Hard about.
Hard about, sir.
Put us about. Put us about. He's crossing the T. Dort, pass me a relay. Put a relay key to the blasters. Direct to the blasters under my hand.
This is the captain. Ready, blasters. Collision course with unidentified space object. Maximum power. Ready, blasters, section 1. This is it, men.
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
All of us, as American citizens, believe in our inherent liberties and freedoms, such as the freedom of the individual to choose and elect his own national representatives. It has been said that there is only one ruling class in America, the people themselves, who, through their vote, have established the law of our land. The real importance of this freedom depends on our accepting the responsibility not only to know what we are voting for or against, but also to choose our leaders for the best interests of the nation. So, accept your responsibility and ensure your freedom.
2 spaceships, 2 scientific expeditions, each uncountable miles from their own home. One from Earth, one from where?
The other ship stopped, Captain.
Cut power.
Quite stationary, sir.
Captain to crew. Steady as you are. Unidentified space object, now stationary. Do not fire. I repeat, fire only on command. This is a trick. You will fire only on command from myself and only when verified. As you are.
Stop dead, sir. They are. Dead for sure. Have a look.
How far do you make them?
Range 20 miles, Captain. Now they're sending modulated shortwave at us, sir.
Frequency modulated?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I see your needle. Apparently a signal. Not enough power to do any harm.
Look up in the left bow visiplate, sir. There's something now.
Yes, I see movement on the outside of their hull. Their coal black hull. We shine like a mirror. Did you ever hear of a jet black spaceship, mister?
We want to reflect the sun. Perhaps they...
Honor a need to absorb heat from a passing sun. Yeah, I know. Now, what's that thing?
Small, round, whatever it is, it's coming out of the side of the ship.
Watch.
Huh?
You're dripping sweat on your instruments.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Yes, I realize what they're up to. If they sent anything toward us, it might seem a projectile or a bomb. So they come close, let out a lifeboat, and go away again. Figure we can send a boat or a man to make contact without risking our whole ship, too.
Captain, that means they think...
Pretty much as we do. Yes, I'm glad that finally occurred to you. Mr. Dort, by law of Space Command, I'm not allowed to leave my ship except to jettison. Mr. Dort, this is not an order.
No, sir.
And would you care to go out and look the thing over, whatever it is?
The alien ship continued to retreat. 40, 80, 400 miles. It came to a stop and hung out there, waiting. Earthman Tommy Dort, climbing into his atomic-driven spacesuit inside the airlock, heard this mileage report and felt safer, but just a little bit safer. For if the unknown black space intruder had stopped its retreat at 400 miles, he reasoned it might not have weapons effective at a greater distance. But Tommy felt lonely and a little expendable, speeding toward that tiny black dot which hung in the incredible brightness of the star gas. 4,000 light years from his wife and family and home. Speeding toward that tiny black spot, the only solid object he could see in all this glowing space. And then he landed. It was a slightly distorted sphere, not much over 6 feet in diameter. There were small tentacles or horns projecting from this black space orange. They looked rather like the detonating horns of an old-era submarine mine, but there was a glint of crystal at the tip of each. Then through his suit he began to feel vibrations. A section of the rounded hull beneath his feet opened up. He moved sideways fast. It opened up and out, and when he looked inside into the now open insides of the little sphere, no, he didn't see the first non-human civilized beings he expected. What he saw was simply a flat plate, and on that flat plate a dim red glow of light came and went. Even inside the protection of his spaceship, Tom Dort felt the hairs in his neck rise and bristle. In momentary terror, he pressed his sleeve button to switch communicator.
Very good, Mr. Dort. Don't panic. No need to panic. Fix your scanner to look into that plate. Harry, these creatures are our equal.
But, sir...
They dumped out a robot with an infrared visiplate for communication, is all. Not risking interpersonnel. Good SOP for them. Whatever we might do would only damage machinery. That's good. That means they value life as you value yours. Maybe, though, they expect us to pull you with a sphere in on board. They may have a bomb charge that can be detonated when they're ready to blow for their own home. I'll send a visiplate out with a man to face one of its scanners. You return to the ship. Well done, Dort.
Yes, sir. But which way is the ship?
Head straight away from the Double Star. We'll pick you up, Dort.
A tiny black bulbous robot floated in space between two spaceships. Ours and theirs. Represented a culture, theirs, which was at least up to ours. Now our two races could be friends. We could also be deadly enemies. We were a monstrous menace to them, and they to us. And the only safe thing to do with a menace is, of course, to destroy it.
This truce, weeks and weeks. It's starting to get the crew.
Mr. Dorff.
I'm busy. Still calculating, Captain.
Let's see, where was I in thinking? How do we establish friendship without risk of treachery? Friendship is based upon confidence. Or is it? Can confidence be established on a foundation of necessarily complete distrust?
If you can be patient a bit longer, sir, I think I've figured out a way we can talk their language. I mean communicate. Since they seem to be stone deaf.
You can?
I think, sir.
You can?
I believe now, sir, we can say almost anything we wish to them and understand what they say back. But, of course, sir, you'll never be able to know how much of what they say is the truth.
Well, neither will they about us. Go on, mister.
Well, I've managed to hook up what amounts to a mechanical translator. We showed them our recorder in the vision plates, and they showed us theirs. They record the FM direct, I think. Now, they don't use sound at all, even in speech. My guess is, sir, that they use microwaves for what you might call person-to-person conversation. I think they make short-wave trains as we make sounds.
Telepathy?
Yes, sir. I think, sir. I'm ready if you are. If you are, that is, prepared to talk with their skipper.
Turn on your mechanical translator. What shall I say to them, Dort? What shall I say?
They're waiting. They keep sending something like a CQ. They're oxygen breathers, sir, and they appear not too dissimilar in certain ways. I'm sure I detected signs of irony.
Irony?
I mean, sir, that implies humor. In other words, sir, I think they could be likable.
All right. Send this.
Hi, sir. They're acting suspicious.
All right. Say, the appropriate things about this first contact of two dissimilar but civilized races, and that my hope that a friendly intercourse between the two peoples will result.
Excuse, sir. What appropriate things? Oh, just a second, sir. The skipper sends you the following, quote, "That is all very well, but is there any way for us to let each other go home alive? I would be happy to hear of such a way if you can contrive one. At the moment, it seems to me that one of us must be killed." Unquote.
All right, then. Send this. Look here out there, whoever you are. It looks like we have to fight, and one batch of us gets killed. All right, we're ready if we have to. But if you win, we've got it fixed so you'll never find out where Earth is. And there's a good chance we'll get you anyhow. We've stayed here a month, and we've swapped information, and we don't hate each other. There's no reason for us to fight, except to protect our races.
Well, he says, sir, yes, all you say is true, but that his race has to be protected just as you feel that yours must be. He says, quote, "Perhaps this will help us to think clearly. Suppose we make it so we can't find each other's home planet, but leave a way to communicate in the future. So work out grounds for a common trust. If our governments want to be fools, let them. But we should give them the chance to make friends, instead of starting a space war out of mutual panic," unquote.
All right, I have it. Send this. Okay, sir. Whoever you are, let's swap spaceships. Send it, send it.
He answers, "Interesting. What is rest of your swapping proposal?"
Send this. Swap ships and crews. I remove all star charts and anything else evidential. He removes all his navigational records. We train each other's key crewmen, and I go for home with my crew and his ship. He goes for home with his crew and his ship. That's my proposal. Tell him that's final. If he refuses, I'll blast.
Oh, hold on, please, sir. He says, accepted. He says, accepted. With one proviso that we arrange to meet here, at this starfish, in exactly one astronome of the double star.
Agreed. To us, that'll be a year. Send it.
Now hear this. On signal, prepare to abandon ship. We sail for home as soon as we have learned to man controls of unidentified space object. And good Godspeed to us all. We will all see Earth again as soon as we are trained, and we train them.
There's a hidden assumption in the story we just heard that any intelligent entity can and may lie. I wonder just what a lie is and why it is that we expect intelligent entities to lie. Could a machine lie? Could an intelligent machine lie? Well, next time we have a discussion on that I think you'll find interesting. It's called Liar.
Join us for a fascinating adventure in Exploring Tomorrow. Heard in our cast tonight were Lon Clark and Lawson Zerbe. The script was by Murray Leinster, adapted by Peter Irving. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York. Bill Maher speaking.
We pause now for station identification.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman!
Look, up in the sky!
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman! Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. With Comanche Joe dead from bullet wounds, all hope of proving Tumbleweed's ownership of the ranch the wealthy Indian gave him seems to be gone. Taking advantage of the situation which he created, Abner Cheney, local banker, has caused Tumbleweed's arrest on charges of fraud, claiming that Tumbleweed borrowed $15,000 from the bank, offering as collateral land he did not own. As our story continues today, Tumbleweed, on the advice of Clark Kent, has permitted himself to be taken to the Lost Valley Jail. In the meantime, Kent and young Jimmy Olsen are headed for the Comanche Indian Reservation, where a 3-day burial ceremony is now taking place. Passing through a deep, rocky arroyo, the horses slow down to a sure-footed walk. Listen.
Why are we going to the reservation, Mr. Kent?
I've been waiting for you to ask that question. Evidently, your bump of curiosity isn't as big as it used to be.
Oh.
We're going to have a talk with poor Comanche Joe's old father, the chief. I'm going to try and convince him that his son gave Tumbleweed the ranch.
Oh, what good will that do?
Well, according to Indian law, the property of a deceased warrior goes to the tribe.
But Comanche wasn't a warrior, Mr. Kent. He went to college and spoke perfect English.
No, every member of the tribe is a warrior. That doesn't mean he has to wear feathers and red paint.
So the tribe owns Tumbleweed's ranch, is that it?
Legally, yes.
And you want the chief to turn it over to Tumbleweed?
Doesn't take you long to figure that one out. Now ask me why I want the ranch turned over to Tumbleweed.
Oh, that's easy. Tumbleweed owns the ranch, you won't have to stay in jail.
Go to the head of the class, Jimmy, and tomorrow remind me to give you a gold star.
Now you're making fun of me.
No, not at all. Say, why does your pony sneeze so much?
I don't know. Maybe he's got hay fever or something.
Now, there's the reservation up ahead. See the campfire?
Gosh, it must be a big one if we can see it this far off.
Pull up a minute.
Whoa, soldier, whoa.
That pony of yours doesn't stop sneezing. Now, listen.
What am I supposed to be listening for?
Don't you hear the ceremonial drums?
Oh, is that what it is? I hear something else, too. Sounds like horse's hoofs.
Yes, you're right. 2 riders. They're coming this way. Get your pony behind the stand of oak. Quick, hurry.
Back, soldier, back.
All right, not a sound, Jimmy. That pony of yours sneezes.
Gosh, I can't help that, Mr. Kent.
Here they come.
Oh, don't you worry, Flynn. He'll come around. That Comanche tribe's not so rich they can afford to send down $10,000. I reckon not.
First voice sounds familiar, Mr. Kent.
It's Dan Larson.
Saw how the old chief's eyes kind of lit up when I let him have a look at the cash. Cheney's smart, all right. Show him the cash, he says. That's what gets him here. I told Cheney we should have waited until after the ceremony. The Indians won't do business until it's all over. Well, we can wait. By this time, Tumbleweed's in jail. What's that? I don't know. Sounds like a horse blowing from behind that stand of oak. See anything? Too dark. Draw your gun, Flynn. Yep. Come out from behind those trees, whoever you are.
Don't move a muscle, Jimmy.
I said come out from behind those trees. Give him a dose of lead, Flynn.
Mr. Kent, I'm hit.
Easy, Jimmy.
Oh,
Easy.
my shoulder. It burns like a red-hot poker.
I know. Just grit your teeth. Here, I'll help you off.
Oh, don't touch my arm.
I'm sorry. There we are. Now, just let me cut this material away and we'll have a look at it. Does it hurt too much, Jim?
No. Go ahead.
Good boy. Just a little more. There.
Glad you weren't hit, Mr. Kent. Tumbleweed needs you.
Well, he needs you too, Jimmy. A little thing like a bullet wound isn't going to keep you down, is it?
I hope not. But I feel awful weak.
Steady.
My head is... Oh.
Poor kid. Fainted from the shock. Well, the wound doesn't look very serious, but I think I'd better get him back to the ranch in a hurry.
As Superman. Chances are both these horses can find their way. If not, I'll send someone to pick them up. Go home. Get home. Now to make time. In a way, I'm glad Jimmy fainted. He won't suffer. All right, boy. I'll handle you as gently as possible. There. Now, we'll get you to the ranch, fix you up, and then take care of Dan Larson. Up! Up! And away!
How about a little more of this eggnog, Jimmy?
Oh, gosh, haven't I had enough nourishment? It's coming out of my ears.
All right. How do you feel?
Like someone put me through a ringer.
Well, here's what did it.
Oh, is that the bullet that went into my shoulder?
Nothing else but.
Well, let me see it.
Here, wait now. Don't lose it.
Pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Guess I'm lucky it hit my shoulder. Well, how'd you get it out, Mr. Kent?
That's a professional secret, Jimmy. As a matter of fact, it fell out when I dressed the wound.
Can I keep it to show the fellas back in Metropolis?
When I'm through with it, you can.
Oh, what are you going to do with it, Mr. Kent?
Jimmy, this little piece of lead may hang our friend Abner Cheney and his right-hand man Larson.
I don't get it.
Ever hear the word ballistics?
Sounds familiar, but I don't know what it means.
Well, ballistics is the science of arms and ammunition, Jimmy. The weight of bullets and the firing force of powder and things like that. Ballistics experts have proven that no two guns fire a bullet the same way. Look, you see the mark on this bullet where the lead's rubbed away?
Like it was dug out.
Exactly. The rifling inside the barrel of the gun dug it out. And every bullet fired from that gun will have the same mark.
Oh, I still don't see how that's going to hang Cheney and Larson.
Well, it will if Cheney and Larson were responsible for Comanche Joe's murder, and if the same gun that fired this bullet at you was used to kill Comanche Joe.
But how can you find that out?
By matching this bullet against those that killed Comanche. If any of them are dug out and are like this one, we've got a case. An airtight case.
Well, how come you're so sure now that Cheney and Larson are mixed up in this?
You remember the conversation between Larson and that man he called Slim as they were riding through the arroyo?
I couldn't hear much of it.
I heard it all. Cheney had evidently sent Larson to the reservation to buy Tumbleweed's ranch for $10,000 cash. The chief was interested, but wouldn't talk business until after the ceremonies.
Oh, that doesn't make Larson guilty, or Cheney either.
No, but it proves one thing. Both Larson and Cheney knew Comanche Joe was dead awfully soon after it happened. We scarcely had time to get the body to the reservation and return to Tumbleweed's ranch when Cheney paid us a visit. He knew about it then. How did he find out?
I guess you're right.
Yeah, we'll see. You better get some sleep. I've got a little to do.
Oh, at this time of night?
There's something I want to check up on.
And here I am flat on my back. What a break.
Well, I'll tell you everything in the morning. Good night, Jim.
Good night. Don't get into any trouble without me.
I won't. Night.
Night.
Now, back to the Comanche reservation.
As Superman.
Up! Up! And away!
Streaking through the night, Superman heads back to the Indian reservation, where the body of Comanche Joe lies in state, as his tribesmen do him final honor. Meanwhile, back in Lost Valley, a dim light burns in the office of Abner Cheney, president of the bank. Hunched in a chair, he listens attentively as Dan Lawson reports on what happened.
You'll get the ranch all right once the ceremonies are over, Cheney. When I flashed that roll of bills, the old chief's eyes almost popped out of his head.
I figured it that way.
And that's how it worked. Now for something else. On our way back, we took the shortcut through the buzzard and Arroyo.
Yes?
Someone was hiding behind a stand of oak. We heard a horse blowing.
What do you mean, hiding?
I called whoever it was to come out. The horse blew again, and Slim fired 3 times. Somebody got hit. But we didn't wait to see who.
You're too free with guns, Larson. You're a killer at heart.
You've got no right to say that.
I've got every right. You told me you were going to keep Comanche Joe under wraps for a few days. Why did you shoot him?
He tried to get away. Slim had to stop him.
Yeah, with bullets. You don't know any other way, do you?
I tell you, it couldn't be helped.
I knew I should never have started with you, Larson. But we're in so deep now, we might just as well be in a little deeper. We've got to get rid of Tumbleweed Jones. He's dangerous. Somehow he'll track Comanche's killing to me if it takes him 10 years.
He shouldn't be any trouble.
There are no guns this time. I've got it all arranged. Connors is guarding him down at the jail. Now, you and Leif, wearing masks, will break in, make out like you're overpowering Connors, and Shanghai that smart aleck cowhead.
And then what?
There's an old horse tethered behind the bank building and a length of rope hanging on the saddle pommel. Tie Jones to the saddle so he can't get loose. You following me?
Sure.
All right. Now, this is the important part. You know that quicksand pit in the hollow over behind the river?
I know it.
Lead the horse to the pit, give him spurs, and let him go.
With Tumbleweed roped to the saddle?
Of course.
You figure that's better than guns?
Maybe it's not better, but it's quieter.
Mm-hmm.
I hear the masks. Make sure nobody spots you. Now, go ahead.
I don't like this job.
That's too bad. Don't forget, Larson, I know a little too much about you. Enough to put you away for good.
I'm not forgetting.
All right, then get going.
I said I didn't like this job.
And I said get... Put that gun up, Larson.
No, Cheney, I'm through. I'm pulling stakes and going back east. I've had enough.
Put that gun up, you chicken-livered fool.
I'm through, I tell you. I know what happens to everyone who mixes up with you, Cheney. I know where they end up.
Shut up!
You forced me into this by threatening me with something that happened years ago. If I'm a killer, you made me one. Don't come any closer, Cheney. I'm warning you.
Gun in hand, Dan Lawson faces the towering figure of Abner Cheney, hurling defiance into the unscrupulous banker's dark face. The thieves have fallen out, and Tumbleweed's fate depends on who survives. Will it be Cheney, who plans slow death for Tumbleweed in the slimy, suffocating depths of a quicksand pit? Or will it be Lawson, who thinks only of escape from the net he can see closing around him? What will happen? Don't miss the next episode. Tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. As you remember, Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen are visiting Tumbleweed Jones on his Lost Valley ranch, and as usual, have run into exciting adventure. The ranch, a gift to Tumbleweed from his wealthy Indian friend Comanche Joe, is producing oil. However, Abner Cheney, local banker and sole owner of the only oil pipeline to the refinery, has been trying to force Tumbleweed to use the line at exorbitant rates. In our last episode, Cheney played his ace card. Learning that Comanche Joe had failed to file a transfer of ownership on the ranch, He accused Tumbleweed of having borrowed $15,000 from his bank under false pretenses. To make certain Comanche Joe would not interfere, Cheney abducted the Indian, but Comanche tried to escape and was shot by one of Cheney's men. With his friend and benefactor dead, Tumbleweed's last hope of proving the ranch had been a gift was gone. At Clark Kent's suggestion, he submitted to arrest. With Tumbleweed in jail, Kent started for the Comanche Indian Reservation. Meanwhile, Cheney has decided to get rid of Tumbleweed. We find him now in his bank office, giving one of his henchmen, Dan Lawson, instructions on how to proceed. Listen.
You messed things up, Lawson. The only sure way of keeping Comanche Joe's murder from being traced back is to get rid of that cowhand Jones.
You've got him in jail. What more do you want?
You can still talk. That's one thing about dead men. They keep their mouths shut. Now listen to me. We can't waste time. As you know, I had the sheriff deputize Chuck Connery. He's at the jail now, guarding Jones. It's all fixed for you and Lacey to break in as masked men, grab Jones, rope him to that old mare, and ride him into the quicksand pit. Lawson, are you listening to me?
I don't have to listen.
What do you mean?
I'm pulling stakes, Cheney. I'm through. I've had a belly full of this.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, that's so. I came west to start clean, and you got me mixed up in one of the dirtiest deals a man could ever dream up.
This is very interesting, Lawson.
Oh, I know you're smart, Cheney. I know you've been using me all along to pull your chestnuts out of the fire. That's done and finished with. I'm getting out while the getting is good.
That's what you think. Don't forget I know that you're wanted back east. I know that you killed Comanche Joe.
That's a lie. Lacey plugged him.
You were with Lacey at the time. That makes you an accessory to the fact.
All the more reason for pulling stakes.
Why, you yellow.
Stand back, Cheney. A little more blood in my hands won't make a great deal of difference.
Put that gun up, Dan. Don't be a fool.
That's good advice, Cheney. I'm not going to be a fool any longer. From now on, you can do your own dirty work. So long.
So this is the way you repay me for all that I've done for you?
Sure. You set me up in a crooked business, and you fixed it, so I got mixed up in a killing. I'm sorry, Cheney. From now on, I'm saving my own hide, not yours. And don't bother sending Chuck or Lacey or anybody else after me. Like I said before, a little more blood now won't matter. I'll kill the first man who tries to stop me outside.
All right, come, Larson, interrupt that shooting.
Chuck, you'll drop first, Cheney.
What? Did he get you?
No. The bullet went through the sleeve of my jacket. Watch him.
He don't have to be watching.
Is he?
No, but he ain't got long.
Lucky you came up when you did. I won't forget it, Connis. What about Jones? Who's with him?
Lacey. I come up to find out what was holding things. I heard Larson say as how he killed the first man trying to stop him. Figured it was my call to step in. What got into him?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter now. I'll get rid of them, both of them, at the same time. Clean it up once and for all. Can that horse carry them?
I reckon so.
All right, I'll give you a hand. We'll take him out through the back. Come on, grab his leg. Easy, watch that chair.
Yeah.
Now, set him down. The back door's locked. I'll open it. All right, let's go. Up with him. All right. Rope him on, Chuck.
Yep.
You say Lacey's at the jail?
Yep.
Go down there, get Jones, and bring him back here with Lacey.
Okay. Now drive this hunk of crow bait into the quicksand pit with Larson and Tumbleweed aboard.
That's it.
Yeah. Reckon that'll hold.
All right. Go ahead now and get Tumbleweed Jones.
I'll be right back.
Take the load off my mind. Things are getting a little too hot. From now on, will be easy sailing.
That's what you think, Cheney.
Larson.
Figured I was finished, didn't you? Well, I'm not. Before I cash in, I'm going to fix you and good. Get up. Come on, get
Steady,
up.
go. Whoa.
Let go that bridle, Cheney, or some trample you. Get up.
Get up. Stop. Larson's escaping.
Seriously hurt, with a bullet embedded in his back, Dan Lawson has feigned unconsciousness long enough to turn the tables on Abner Cheney. Roped to the back of the old mare destined to carry Tumbleweed and himself to death in the quicksand pit, Lawson, in a dying attempt to clear his soul of the crimes he has been forced to commit, gallops through the night in the direction of Tumbleweed's ranch.
Don't fail me now, girl. There isn't much time. Get.
Meanwhile, unaware of Cheney's plan to get rid of Tumbleweed, Clark Kent, as Superman, has reached the Indian reservation, where Comanche Joe's body lies in state under the flickering light of a huge fire. 6 young braves, their bronze bodies glistening, stand guard at the bier. Softly, the Indian drums accompany the chant of the tribe's medicine man. Approaching the council ring, Superman suddenly stops short as his sharp eyes perceive an aged, bent old man drawing near the fire.
That's Comanche Joe's father, Chief Running Fox. Poor old fella. This must have been a terrific blow. He should welcome an opportunity to make his sons killers pay for their crime. Shall I approach him as Superman or Kent? Chances are he won't remember Kent, but I'm sure he hasn't forgotten the man who flies like a bird. I'll just drop down out of the sky and see what happens. Up! Up! And away! I hope I don't frighten them too much when I put in an appearance. Well, here goes. Down! Down! I have come, O Chief, to offer my hand in your moment of sorrow.
Koa, it is man who fly like bird.
I am pleased that you remember me.
It is something not to forget. Speak, man who fly like bird. The Comanche hold you great spirit, who saved life many moons ago.
Yes, and I have come this time to bring to justice those who have taken the life of your son. I would have words with you, O Chief.
It will be as you say, man who fly like bird. Shall we draw apart from council ring?
If you wish.
Come with me to my tent. There we will have words. Abula! Enter, great spirit. What words do you wish with me?
Look, here is a bullet from the gun I believe was used to cause the death of your son.
You mean white man killed Joe?
Yes.
No, this cannot be. White man loved Joe like brother.
These white men, O Chief, were given to evil.
You know them, great spirit?
Yes, but there is yet not proof enough. That is why I have come. This bullet was shot into the shoulder of Laughing Squirrel. You remember him?
Yes, he, young pale-faced friend of my son.
It is my belief that the white man who shot this bullet also shot the bullet that brought death to your son.
How you know this, great spirit?
I know. But first I must have one of the bullets that brought death to Joe.
This cannot be.
Why not? It is the only way to bring the evil ones to justice.
Body of my son ready for last journey. No hand must touch it.
You wish the evil ones to go unpunished?
This I do not want.
Then let me secure one of the bullets. I will disturb nothing.
No, it cannot be. Give ear. Even now, drums beat louder, and tribe gathers to speed their brother on last journey. Give ear.
Seemingly blocked in his attempt to prove that the bullet responsible for the flesh wound in young Jimmy Olsen's shoulder came from the same gun that took the life of Comanche Joe, Superman looks on as the Indian tribe gathers in a circle at the council ring for the burial ceremony. Meanwhile, back at Tumbleweed's ranch, Jimmy Olsen, asleep in the bunkhouse, is awakened by a frantic knocking on the door.
What? Just a minute. I'm coming. Mr. Larson.
Help me inside. Close the door. Bolt it.
What happened, Mr. Larson? You're wounded.
Listen. Hey, listen. Listen to me.
Where are you hurt?
Never mind. It's too late. Just listen. Abner Cheney is responsible for everything.
What do you mean?
Tell Kent Cheney.
Someone's coming. On horseback. Maybe it's Mr. Kent.
No, it's Cheney and Connors. They trailed me. Oh. Is the door latched?
Yes.
Don't answer. They'll kill us.
Open up in there.
Don't answer.
Open up, I said. All right, Chuck. Blast them out.
Trapped in the bunkhouse with Clark Kent miles away at the Indian reservation, Jimmy and Dan Lawson are in a tough spot. Abner Cheney knows he's fighting for his life and is willing to turn ruthless killer to save it. What will happen? Don't forget to be with us next time Tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invite you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Stand by to raise ship. Blast off minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0! Blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. 500 million miles out in the cold, black depths of space, a small rocket scout blasts across the invisible path marking the orbit of Jupiter on course to Earth. In the narrow cylindrical cockpit forward near the nose of the silvery ship, the pilot transmits a routine teleceiver call across the void. And in a small metal hut on Mars, the sleepy-eyed operator shakes himself awake as the call crackles in his earphones.
Space Station M5 from Rocket Scout 4J9. Come in.
Rocket Scout 4J9 from Space Station M5. Go ahead.
4J9, Space Mail Service, direct colony to Earth.
Position?
Crossing orbit of Jupiter, northwest 100, 5 degrees over plane of the ecliptic. Holding course 160. Doesn't believe it.
Parker, what's wrong with you? Parker, come in. Hello, Parker. Can you hear me? Parker. Rocket Scout 4J9 from Space Station M5. Come in. Great, Ganymede. M5 to all space stations. M5 to all space stations. Stand by. Disaster alert. Stand by.
Here's the story, Captain Strong. 2 days ago, Captain Mitch Parker was inbound from Titan on the Earth-Titan mail run. He made routine teleceiver contact with Space Station M5 on Mars to get position and standard data. Suddenly, contact was broken for some unknown reason. We haven't been able to raise him since.
Any search operations underway, Commander Arkwright?
Of course. I sent all patrol ships into the area immediately. Even pulled rocket liners and space freighters off orbit. But they haven't found a trace of Parker or his ship.
Well, it's only been 2 days, sir.
I realize that. The ships that are looking for Parker now have to be released. I'm organizing a full-scale rescue operation to begin tomorrow. Do you think your cadet crew is experienced enough for an assignment like this?
For the Polaris crew, of course, sir.
It'll be a long and difficult search, Strong. Even dangerous.
Don't worry about them, sir. Tom Corbett, Astro, and Roger Manning are the best cadets in the Academy. In spirit, teamwork, and cooperation, they excel at...
Excuse me, Strong.
Yes, sir.
Come in.
Polaris unit reporting, sir.
Great Jupiter. Tom, what happened to you?
What happened to all of them? They look like they've been through a reaction chamber.
Well, Tom?
The officer of the day told us to report to you for disciplinary action, Commander Arkwright.
Disciplinary action? What's the charge?
We're charged with fighting and wrecking the furniture in our dormitory, sir.
I see. Well, Captain Strong, so this is your Polaris crew. Is this what you call teamwork, spirit, and cooperation?
Well, boys, I managed to square it with Commander Arkwright for you. He won't take any disciplinary action until this mission is over.
Oh, that's great, Captain Strong.
Swell. I knew you'd come through for us,
But now I want to know what this is all about.
Why,
Who started it this time?
Well, I'm waiting for an answer.
Sir, I think I can explain.
I'd be interested in something like that, Corbett. Well?
Astro and Roger had a difference of opinion, and I tried to settle it, and Roger disagreed with me, and Astro disagreed too, and, well, I disagreed with both of them, and the next thing I knew, the bunk fell on Astro and the table was knocked over, and...
And you just tore your uniform, and Roger happened to grow that black eye. And Astro accidentally cut his lip.
I guess so.
All right. Now get this, all of it. The next time I catch the three of you fighting, I'm going to make earthworms out of you. You'll do all your rocketeering in the mess hall with a bucket and mop. You understand?
Right, yes, sir.
All right. Dismissed. Oh, what a crew. Captain Strong here.
This is Commander Arkwright.
Oh, yes, sir.
Alert your crew for immediate blast-off.
Immediate? But I thought you said...
One of the space freighters found a trace of reaction mass between Jupiter and the asteroid belt.
From Parker's ship?
No way of telling yet. But if he jettisons his fuel, he may be in serious trouble and completely helpless. You've got to work fast if you're going to save him.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by. Listen to this jet plane streak through the air. That's a Republic Thunderjet, up on a test flight. Jets like that are pioneers of the sky, leading the way to the air age of tomorrow. And the men who fly those jets are pioneers, too, blazing a trail for youth to follow. Would you be able to fly a jet? Well, maybe not right now, but you can build yourself up so that you'll be ready when the time comes. And one important thing to do right now is to have a good, nourishing breakfast every single morning with Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Then, while you're thinking about flying jets, you can be taking on the builder-upper food values that jet pilots must have to do a good job. So start now. Eat plenty of Kellogg's Pep. Get all the strength and muscle-building food values that Pep can give you. And say, when you taste that swell Pep flavor, you want a second bowlful. Ask Mom to get the better-than-ever build-up cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep. And listen for news about the swell prize you get in every package of Kellogg's Pep in just a few minutes.
Attention, crew. We've cleared Earth's atmosphere on course to asteroid belt.
A giant search operation has begun. The search through the vast reaches of space for a missing rocket scout. And now, as the rocket cruiser Polaris blasts through the void at full space speed, Captain Strong briefs his cadet crew.
Now, according to the last report from Central Control, traces of reaction mass have been found near the asteroid belt. Mass that might have been jettisoned from Captain Parker's ship.
Jettisoned, Captain? Or would there have been a leak in the hull?
Well, that remains to be seen. In any case, the Yeager, the Hydra, and the 3 rocket destroyers are already tracking down the mass. We're going to take a shortcut.
What do you mean, shortcut, sir?
Corbett, if you were on a rocket scout ship and developed trouble, what would you do?
Well, if I couldn't repair it in space, I'd call for help.
You'd need it. Cut that, Manning. Now, if your communications were destroyed, what would you do?
Well, I'd try to set down somewhere and see if I could repair her.
Right. Now, wouldn't it be logical to assume that that's what Captain Parker did?
But where could he land, sir? The only space junk of any size around here is in the asteroid belt.
Right, Astro. And we're going to go through the asteroid belt and look for him.
Through it? Oh, brother, this is going to be rough.
No, rough isn't the word, Manning, but I think it's our best bet.
I guess you're right, Captain.
If the ship can take it, we can, sir.
All right. You can relax for a while now. Maintain your usual 4-hour deck watches until we reach our search position. I'm going topside to contact Commander Arkwright for further orders. And, by the way, in case you don't remember, Academy regulations hold good on shipboard. No fighting.
Yes, sir.
Lucky thing for you guys.
What do you mean, Roger?
That no fighting order. I'd like to wrap you guys up good.
Oh, now listen, Roger. Have you still got that chip on your shoulder? Let's forget it. We were all off our orbit.
No, Junior, only you. We're all in the same unit, so I have to ride along with you. But that doesn't mean I like Why, you big sorehead.
Hold it, Astro. Look, for the last time, Roger, you're making too much of this. Astro didn't mean what he said, and neither did I. So how about shaking hands and forgetting it?
Tom is willing, so am I.
Fellas, I got a hot space flash for you. Go blow your jets.
Control deck to radar bridge. Check in.
Radar bridge high.
How are we doing, Manning?
Moving into the asteroid belt, sir. Pretty thick out there. My scanner screen's lit up like a Christmas tree.
Don't worry about the small pieces of space junk. We can shed those. It's the big stuff we have to avoid.
But don't worry, sir. I can play tag with these asteroids all day.
Now, don't get smart, Manning. One of those chunks of iron can rip a hole in our side and tear us apart. End transmission. Now, Tom, call Astro. Tell him to cut down to 1/4.
Aye, sir. Control deck to power deck.
Power deck aye.
Astro, cut space speed 1/4. We're going to cut straight across the asteroid belt.
1/4 space speed. Aye.
Tom, turn on the magnoscope and watch every passing asteroid big enough to hold a spaceship.
Aye, sir.
We're taking a long chance on a slim hope.
Radar bridge control deck. There's a big one bearing down on us. Shift steering vanes 2.2 starboard, 1 degree up.
Hear that, Astro?
Got it, Tom.
Steering vane set. Give us a short blast, Astro.
Right, Tom.
There she goes, sir. We missed her.
Get a good look at it, Tom.
Yes, sir. There was no ship on that space hobo.
They're coming fast, Captain Strong. 2 of them bearing down on us. You'll have to walk a tightrope between them. Hold steering vanes 1.6 to port.
Steering vanes set. Blast away, Astro.
Hang on.
Oh, that was a little too close.
No rocket ship on either one of those babies, sir.
Oh, this is a space-happy thing to do, but no, we're too deep in it now to turn back. I'm risking 4 lives and a rocket cruiser on a 1,000,000-to-1 shot.
If we find Captain Parker, it'll be worth it, sir.
Sure, but will our luck hold out?
Radar bridge control deck. Here comes the daddy of them all. Swing her wide. 12.4 degrees to port, 5 degrees up.
12.4 degrees to port, 5 degrees up. Astro, don't spare the neutrons. A long blast this time.
Hold tight, opening up.
Are we clearing it?
Yes, sir. Hold on. Here comes another one. We can't duck this one. Brace yourself for crash. Brace yourself.
Oh, Tom, are you all right?
I'm seeing stars of the 5th magnitude.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few myself. You better call Astro and Roger.
Aye, sir. Control deck to power deck. Check in.
Check in. I'm ready to check out.
Astro's okay, sir.
All right, Astro. Go over the power deck for damage.
Aye, sir.
Control deck to radar bridge. Check in. Any damage up there?
Now, that's a real intelligent question. We get clobbered up by a meteor and he asks if there's any damage. Tell the skipper all our communications are out. Scanners, teleceiver, radar, scopes, everything.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. So it looks like we're sitting pretty, doesn't it? Flying through the asteroid belt, completely blind.
Well, boys, I've checked the ship completely. Outside of the blackout on the radar bridge, we're still in one piece.
Yeah, but how about that blackout, sir? We're sitting ducks for every piece of space junk in the belt.
Well, not since we've cut our power, Roger. We're drifting in a steady orbit now, along with all the other space junk. Chances are we won't be hit, unless we try to break out.
Yeah, but if we don't break out, Skipper, we'll drift around in this junkyard forever. We can't even call for help.
Well, the damage is to the antenna and the main power relay. The relay can be fixed up inside the ship, but the antenna means a trip outside on the hull.
Oh, brother, nothing I like better than waltzing around in space.
Well, start practicing right now then, Roger. You, Astro, and I are going outside. Tom, you'll stay in here and work on the relay.
Aye, aye, sir.
All right. Suit up, boys, and meet me in the airlock in 2 minutes.
Here, Roger. Let me help you with your helmet.
Don't bother, I can do it myself.
All right, hotshot. Have it your way.
And listen, you be careful you don't fall off the hull. I don't feel like fishing you out of space.
All right, boys. Now that you've got your fish bowls on, check your oxygen tanks for twice normal pressure.
Oxygen check. Okay, sir. Okay here, too, sir.
Right. Let's go. Open the portal, Astro.
Inner portal closed, sir.
Equalize pressure.
Pressure equalized, sir.
Open the outer portal, Manning.
Aye, sir.
Let's go. Hook up your static lines as soon as you're on the hull. And remember, keep your magnetic boots flat against the hull.
Hello, Astro. Manning, check in.
What do you want, Junior?
What's taking so long? What's going on out there, Roger?
We're playing marbles with these pieces of space junk. Go back to your building up and don't bother us.
Hand me that wrench, Astro, and those adapters.
Right, sir. But what's happened to all the space junk? Seems awful empty out here.
Yeah, we may have drifted through the worst of it.
I don't know. It's too quiet after all the battering we took.
Hand me that number 3 adapter, Astro.
Yes, sir. You know, I'll never get used to working upside down like this and not falling off.
Free fall has its advantages. And one of them is having no weight.
Getting strong. Astro, get down! Quick! Here comes the meteor! Get down! By the craters of Luna, that was a close one.
Yes, too close. Now listen, Manning. If you'd stop gassing so much and keep your eyes peeled with... Roger.
Captain Strong, the static line is torn. Look, he's off the ship. He's drifting out into space.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by. It's here. Yes, it's here. A brand new, exciting new premium in every package of Kellogg's Pep. And it's waiting for you right this instant at your grocery store.
That's right, boys and girls. In every box of Kellogg's Pep, there's a magic moving picture eye. The magic eye is a gleaming plastic disc. And right in the center, there's an exciting picture. When you tilt the magic eye back and forth, the picture actually starts moving. There are pictures of planes, trains, and TV and movie stars like Tom Corbett and Bob Hope of Paramount Pictures and The Bob Hope Show.
Yes, sir. Every magic eye has a picture that's packed with famous people in action. You can collect as many as 16 different magic eyes. 16 different pictures altogether. So easy to get, too. There's one waiting for you now, free, at no extra cost, in every single package of Kellogg's Pep. You'd better start your collection today.
Remember, for your magic eye, ask Mom to buy P-E-P. Pep.
Rocket cruiser Polaris making emergency repairs in space, Roger Manning is suddenly swept off and set spinning helplessly into the void.
Look, Captain Strong, there he goes, drifting down along the hull.
Listen, Astro, call Tom. Quick, tell him to bring out a body jet. Hurry. I'm going down to the fins. Maybe I can catch him.
Right, sir. Hello, Tom. Tom, come in.
Right here, Astro. How's it going?
Listen, Roger's been knocked off the ship. He's drifting out in space.
Great jumping Jupiter.
Captain Strong wants you to bring out a body jet.
Oh, no. By the time I suit up and get out there with a body jet, Roger will be out of sight. We'll never find him.
What else can we do?
Wait. I've got an idea. I'm going to maneuver the ship toward him.
What?
Hang on out there. I'm firing up our rocket.
Oh, brother. Spaceman's left, pal.
Who fired our rockets?
Tom did, sir. He's maneuvering the ship toward Roger. He figures it's Roger's only chance.
Oh, that's risky. He might fry Roger in the exhaust blast. No, but maybe it's the better gamble.
Better hold on, sir. I'm starting to cut around.
Hello, Tom. Come in.
Yes, sir.
Watch your heading. Don't over control or you'll spin us completely around.
Doing my best.
Now, ease off now.
Hold her straight and level as you can. You're heading right for Roger.
Do it, Astro. We have to get him on the first pass.
I know. And we'll do it. You've cut your power. Now, let her drift.
Right, sir.
Captain Strong, we're going to miss him. We're going to miss him by at least 10 feet. Blast it. Tom, quick. Oh, wait a minute, sir. Play out my static line. I'm going to push off and try to grab him. Wait, Astro.
Hang on to my line, sir. Here I go.
How's Roger now, Captain Strong? Will he be okay?
Yes, Tom, he'll be all right. Just suffering from shock. Those blood pills will fix him up fine.
Hey, he's coming out of it. What's going on here? What am I doing in this bunk?
You were knocked off the ship, Roger.
Me? Uh-huh, and we had to fish you out of space. You're full of meteor dust.
Well, it's the truth, Manning. If it hadn't been for Tom and Astro, you'd be a part of the asteroid belt now. Just another piece of space junk.
Yeah, I suppose I would. And Tom and Astro,
That's right, Manning. Now, you just rest there. I'm going topside and start plotting our course out of here. Tom, Astro, you stay with him.
I don't need anybody staying with me. I'm okay.
You're not getting out of that bunk. We need all personnel in top condition. But don't forget, we still have to find Captain Parker. I'll see you later, boys.
You want something, Roger?
No, tell me something.
Yeah?
What did we have that fight about?
Uh-oh, here we go again. Does it make that much difference, Roger?
No, that's what I was driving at. It doesn't make any difference at all. And, I'm not very good at saying these things, but what you guys did for me and all,
cut it out, will you, Manning? You'll have me crying. Yeah. Relax and act natural, will you?
Go blow your jets.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom, Corbett, and the Space Cadets on Thursday, when the search for Captain Parker and the missing rocket scout is resumed, and the boys rocket into danger. Tune in, same time, same station for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett. Hey, Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast are Al Markham as Astro, Jan Merlin as Roger Manning, and Edward Bryce as Captain Strong. Today's program was written by Jack Weinstock and Willie Gilbert, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes, both fruit and cereal, all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's.
To free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. falling to pieces, and on a desolate island ahead of you awaits the strangest adventure in the knowledge of man. Listen now as Escape brings you Nelson Bond's famous story, Conqueror's Isle.
You've got to believe this. I know it sounds impossible. It sounds crazy. But you've got to believe it. That's why I'm here. It's the truth, and you've got to believe it. You've got to, sir.
That's the way he started, almost as soon as I'd walked into his hospital room. He wasn't violent, you understand. There was no need for restraint. But his every action, every gesture was evidence of a psychotic condition. To be extremely charitable, battle fatigue. It was an odd case. I was already well acquainted, of course, with the history. Graduate of Annapolis, lieutenant in the Fleet Air Arm, excellent record, citations for bravery and so forth. Toward the end of the war, he and his bomber crew disappeared over the South China Sea. Search for to find them up. They were, of course, presumed to be lost. Then a month ago, almost 7 years later, Lieutenant Brady was found by a Brazilian freighter, alone, drifting and nearly dead in a tiny life raft. Curiously enough, his position was not far from that last reported by his radio operator 7 years earlier. But when he was asked where he had been, he gave a story so fantastic, so completely unbelievable.
It's the truth, and you've got to believe it. You've got to, sir.
At ease, Lieutenant.
I'm sorry, sir.
I'm here to consult with you as a physician, not ordering you anything. Suppose we forget the braid while you tell me about it.
Yes, sir. Where should I begin?
Well, it's your story. You know what it is you want me to believe.
Somebody's got to do something, Doctor. It's getting later, and every day that passes, they grow stronger. I've got to make people understand. I've got to make you understand.
At the beginning? Suppose we start with that last flight at the end of the war.
Yes, sir. I get it. Well, it was this way. We finished our mission, and we were starting for home. Over the South China Sea, between the Philippines and Indochina, roughly off Palawan, and everything was peaches and cream. The yard in Alice was pulling along like a dream, and I was sitting there chewing up a pack of gum, thinking about how good that can of cold beer was going to taste, when the intercom tapped off in my ear. Lieutenant, you upgraded. 10 o'clock. Huh? Yeah, you're right. Looks like a tramp. That's what I figured. Have you still got Bertha? Yes, sir. Okay, maybe we can have some fun. Red 4 to Mac. Red 4 to Mac. Go ahead, Red 4. Left later, 10 o'clock. Check. We're Kelly and Bertha. How about it? Why not? Your party. Go ahead. And good luck. Roger, now. Roman camp. Hey, nice going, Lieutenant. Right on the button. That's one job we won't have to worry about anymore. Lieutenant, we're hit. Huh? These red jackals that come up and hit us are spraying gas all over the Pacific out of the left wing tank. Yeah, I see it. Guys, get ready for a bath. We'll never make it back. I object. It ain't Saturday night. Never mind. I always did want to take a ride on one of them little rubber boats. Maybe you'll be out to get us before we have a chance to get thirsty. Red 4 to Mac. Red 4 to Mac. Nice going, fella. Yeah, only it was a two-way deal. We're hit, Mac. Losing gas fast. Think you can make it? No, it's a soft pass for us. Sorry, fellas. Keep your radio on. Give your last position to base before you ditch. Then we'll let you party out in an hour. We'll come. See you tonight. Good luck. Over. Roger and out. There was nothing to it. Happened every day. Ships all over the Pacific, they'd have a destroyer sitting there when we came down almost.
But a half hour later, when our gas was down to a few cupfuls and the rest of the squadron was long out of sight, an amazing thing happened. One minute, the sky was clear and cloudless. The next minute, we were surrounded by thunderheads and a typhoon hit us.
Holy cow, Lieutenant! Where'd this come from?
I don't know, but it's a Lulu. Fasten your safety belts. There's no telling what this will do to us. Granddaddy typhoon, all right, but it lasted only a few minutes, and then we were out of it as miraculously as we'd come into it. And then something else happened. I guess we all saw it about the same time.
Hey, what do you know? Take a look at that sight with sore eye. Man, oh man, it looks mighty fine to me. What island is it, Lieutenant?
I don't know. After the way we got tossed around back there, I haven't any idea about position. We could be anywhere from the coast of China to the Philippines. Who knows?
Who cares? Fly in.
Just in time. We're out of gas. Take a bearing and radio our position, Jack. We're going down. We landed safely on a little strip of sandy beach, and only after we climbed out of the plane did we begin to have any misgivings. What do you think, Skipper? Well, it doesn't look like much, but I don't see anybody. Not a sign of life. I got a good look from topside coming down. Weren't any houses? Nothing. Still, you can't tell. They could be Japs. The worst. Headhunters, maybe? We'd better stick together, stay close to the plane. It shouldn't be more than a few hours, but yeah, except that I...
Hello!
Hey, look for them.
Hello there!
It's a white man. Hey, what is this? Keep your eyes open. It might be a trap. Yeah, but he's a white man. He speaks English. He's not armed. No, I don't see any guns. Watch it.
Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome.
I saw you land, so I headed out to see if I could be of any assistance. Can I introduce myself? I'm Dr. Grove. I'm Lieutenant Brady, Radioman Calvin, all my gunner, Sergeant Golick. It's a pleasure, gentlemen. Anyone in need of medical assistance? No, thanks. We're all okay. Just a little surprised to find anyone here. Yes, of course. That can be explained to you later, but now you'll be wanting food and rest. Hey, a little chow wouldn't be bad, huh? But first we have to get in touch with our base, get my position. Of course, but such things take some time in these primitive areas. Oh, no, we have a radio on the plane. I did have, Skipper. I was starting to tell you. Went out just before we sighted the island. Must have got wound up in the storm. But you can fix it. I guess so, if it's nothing serious. I'll tell you better after I get a chance to go over it. Of course, but in the meantime, I hope you'll accept our humble hospitality. Now, if you will follow me. I got it, Skipper. Sure, why not? After the last half hour, we could all use a little relaxation. Very good. Right this way, please. I should have smelled it right then. There was something strange about the whole thing. There were a lot of questions in my mind, but I didn't ask them. Instead, we walked down the jungle path behind Dr. Grove like lambs to the slaughter. Tom Gola must have had the same misgivings because he whispered in my ear. I don't get it, Skipper. How's it work, son? Where's this guy come from? Where's he hang out? When we were coming in, I took a good look at this island. There were no houses, no nothing. I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon enough. Yeah. Holy cow! Will you look at that? The rock. There we are, gentlemen. You'll be good enough to enter. Enter what? That? Don't be alarmed. It's only an elevator. The entrance is from the ground floor. An elevator? In this jungle? I don't get it. You mean to tell me you live underground? My dear Lieutenant, I'll be glad to explain everything later. It's all very simple, but first I must insist on this. Yes. Suppose we prefer not to get into your elevator, then what? Well, I should be compelled most regretfully to enforce my request. Get the gun, pal. We've got guns. 3 guns. Lieutenant, would you be kind enough to fire your gun? You have qualms about killing a man in cold. That won't fire it in the air. Wait a minute. Keep your hands out of your pocket. Perhaps you'd care to stop me, Lieutenant. I'm warning you. Look. Try again, Lieutenant. I'm afraid you're going to find that you're down to not welcome this island. Skipper is right. Why don't you wait here? Neither am I. And now perhaps you will be kind enough to step into the shaft. Look, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't want any part of it. Come on, gang, let's get out of here. Just a minute. I'm sorry. You forced me to use harsh measures. Believe me, I do so reluctantly. What's that you got there? Just a small tube, but a very potent weapon, I must warn you. Yeah? Well, then you better use it fast. I made a desperate lunge for him, and suddenly a tiny shaft of light flicked out from the tube and touched me, and I stopped, frozen in my tracks. Conscious, my eyes open, seeing him, hearing him. But try as I would, I couldn't move a muscle. I seemed to be turned to stone. Paralyzed, you understand? Completely paralyzed, Dr. Gorham. I had all my senses. I could see and hear and feel, but I couldn't move a muscle, not even turn my eyes. And you say this happened because of some kind of light beam? Well, not exactly a beam, perhaps not exactly a light, just a kind of radiance. And then? When some other men came out of the elevator, they picked us up and carried us. I could feel their hands very softly, as if they were far away from my body, as if there were rods of rubber between them and me. And I could hear Dr. Grove talking. Place them in the car. See him bending over me into my line of vision. I'm sorry, Lieutenant. I sincerely regret having to inconvenience you. But you see, just as we have the means of hampering your primitive mechanical devices, your guns, your radio, so do we have the means to enforce our requests. Requests which are, I assure you, were only reasonable and necessary under the circumstances. Very well. Take us down. My head was reeling, and fear was growing in me. Who were these men to talk of radio as a primitive device? What kind of men were they? Where were they taking the three of us? What were they going to do with us? As if he read my thoughts, Dr. Grove leaned over me again. There is no need to be alarmed, Lieutenant. No need at all. Well, Frater? I'm sorry, Frater Gordon. It was necessary. They would not come willingly. I see. Few of them do. I will put them in sleeping chambers until they recover. And be gentle. They're frightened. Poor things. Poor things. Poor things, he'd said. Not as if we were human beings at all, but animals. Some weak, dumb animals with whom they must be gentle. It was then that I began to know real fear. We were in a great underground city, but I could see little of it. Nothing except what passed in front of my rigid eyes. And then I was carried into a room, deposited upon a soft couch and left alone. I couldn't close my eyes, but gradually the light began to fade, melt away. I was in deep blackness. And I slept. I don't know whether the return of a light awakened me or whether it came on automatically when I woke up, but the room was bright and I could move again. I jumped up, tried the door, but of course it was locked. There was no other way of escape. The room was a small cell with metal walls and ceiling, a kind of metal I'd never seen before. There was a couch, a desk, and a chair, nothing else. But the really amazing thing was the light. I searched the entire room carefully, but there were no fixtures, no indirect lighting arrangements. The light came out of the walls, the ceiling, the floor, evenly, filling the room, casting no shadows. Suddenly I wanted to see Kavanaugh and Gover. I yelled at the top of my lungs. Kavanaugh! Gover! But the world simply absorbed the sound into utter silence. I thought for a minute I was going mad. I heard someone's voice shouting, and I was surprised to find it was mine. Was I to be left here to die? Would no one ever hear my calls? I went to the door and banged on it. Let me out! Let me out! Let me out! And as I lay there with fear cold in my stomach, I heard a faint sound of footstep behind me. I whirled around just in time to see Dr. Grove stepping through the wall. You said he stepped through the wall, Lieutenant? Of course you mean through the door. Through the wall. Through the wall, sir. The door was in front of me. But Dr. Grove stepped into my cell through the solid metal wall. You realize that what you are saying is impossible. To us it is. To them, nothing is impossible. Nothing. That's why we've got to do something now before it's too late. You must believe me, sir. This is man's last chance, all of us. We'll see. Perhaps you'd better go on. This Dr. Grove stepped through the wall. Yes. Dr. Grove stepped into my cell through the wall, and at the sight of him, my panic ended. For some reason, he gave me a sense of peace. Perhaps it was awe. I don't know. And we talked not as man to man, but as man to a lesser creature. You must not be frightened. You don't understand how I passed through the wall, which to you seems solid, and not understanding you feared. Yet, there's nothing supernatural or fearful about what I did. Any of us can do it. We simply make a necessary mental adjustment and walk where we will. It's an ability as basic to us as breathing to a person like you. What kind of man are you? You know the facts of evolution. You know how man has progressed through various stages from primitive surgery. Well, obviously, this process can and will continue. To suppose that evolution of man is complete with you is a mistake of conceit. You mean you are the next stage? Exactly. We are the next stage. Infinitely superior to our parents and to our fellow men. Your most difficult physics and mathematics are our ABCs. Our studies far beyond your understanding. Are there many of you? Very many. You see, the process has been going on for many years. Hundreds, thousands more come here to us every year from all over the world, where we need isolation to study, learn, build, and prepare ourselves. Prepared for what? For the task ahead. Obviously, when we're ready, when we're numerous enough to fill all the necessary positions, our superior intelligence must shape a new world. Take over the world? Obviously. And you'll destroy man? How little you understand us. You destroy the animals of the field because they're not your intellectual peers. Our obligation is to keep and to protect you, to act as your friendly guardians in a world which will be strange to you and frightening. As my working for the world is frightening to you. As I say. What do you plan to do with us then? Rather say, what does nature plan to do? And the answer to that, well, that lies in history. What became of the anthropoids and the cavemen? They died out. Civilization passed them by. They fell before the onrush of higher forms of life. Even so. Even so. But I give you our pledge that we will be kind. We will be kind. Took me out into that great underground city through its corridors and great halls and laboratories and shops. Took me among the thousands of his fellow men. There I saw marvels of which I could talk for hours. And then I met others like us. Some 200 captive cattle. People who had stumbled onto this island as I had. There were famous names among them. A famous author whose ship disappeared in the Pacific years ago. A big game hunter, a famous aviatrix for whom a dozen fleets had fought in vain. All of us, prisoners. We were treated with great kindness, made comfortable and relatively happy. We were their pets, you see. Their dumb animal pets. For over 7 years I stayed there. After a while I ceased to struggle, even in my mind. I was defeated. And so I succumbed to the peaceful, bucolic existence that was my fate. At least that's what I thought. And then came that last day. Dr. Grove had made me his special pet. I was allowed to follow him about at his work and talk to him at length. And on this day, he confided in me even more than usual. Well, Lieutenant, it's been a pleasant day. Yes, Doctor. You know, I shall miss having you with me when I'm gone. Gone? You're going away, sir? Oh, yes, very soon. But where? Well, out into the world. Where you once lived. Why? Oh, there are many, very many of us not already. In strategic places, of course. An important politician here, an industrial magnate there, a famous author whose words are gospel to his readers. I don't have my place, an important one, but I didn't know. Then it's already begun, this taking over. Oh, yes, definitely. The hour is close at hand. And then all of us, the whole world. Lieutenant, you know us now. You know that we will be kind. Kind. Yes. Kind. Suddenly, all the anger that was in me welled up. I didn't want to be a dumb animal, a pet for some superior being to be kind to. I didn't want that for my loved ones, my friends, my fellow men. That night at dinner, when they fed the prisoners in the big communal hall, I got a chance to talk to Tom Golden, my old gunner. He listened and then shrugged hopelessly. Yes, succeed, Joe. You know that. No, Tom, no. Not if the world can be warned. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't look any different. Besides, how could they be warned? If somebody could get away from here. Escape? It's impossible. I know. That's what I thought. Listen, I got an idea. There's one flaw in their perfection. What? Their gentleness. Their kindness. They can't bear to hurt anyone. None of their weapons kill, but only paralyze temporarily. And they simply can't conceive of treachery from us. What are you driving at? I'm going to play on Dr. Grove's likeness, his kindness, and I'm going to trick him. How? Tomorrow I'll ask him to take me up, back to the plane, get pictures of my father and sister. Tell him I'm lonesome, suffering. He'll do it. I'm sure he will. It's kind of you, Dr. Grove, to do this for me. Not at all, Lieutenant. I understand your feelings. With you leaving, I'd have no one close. The pictures will make me feel a lot better. Well, here's the match compartment. Well, I hope your sister's still there. Dr. Grove, look, over there. What? There. I hope I didn't kill him. He had been kind, but I hit him hard. Then I broke out a life raft from a plane. I was almost afraid to look at it, but it was okay, even complete with supplies. It should have been rotted, but it wasn't. Maybe he had control over that, too. I don't know. I ripped the valve and threw it in the water. In 5 minutes, I was out beyond the breakers. I don't know how many days or weeks it was before they picked me up. It was a long time. And I was more dead than alive. It was quite an experience, Roy, wasn't it? But you see, it doesn't matter with me. It's the other that... You don't believe me either, do you? Well, Lieutenant, I'm glad now I heard your story. I'll make a report to my superiors. Please be patient and try not to worry. Try not to worry. Good day, Lieutenant. Oh, get out. Get out, sir. Commander Gorham, you talked to him. What's the verdict? What do you think? Clear case of persecution mania. An amazing form. I never heard a tale more complete and logical. Yes, I know what you mean. Do what you can for him. I'm afraid he's going to be here for a long time. Perhaps for as long as he lives. Turned loose, he might be dangerous. That's too bad. Nice boy, too. Floating 4 weeks on that life raft. That sometimes does things to a man's mind. Well, Doctor, how about lunch? No, thanks. I've got to run around. I have to turn in my report and recommendation on this case. Yeah, of course. See you later. I watched the man disappear down the hall. I stood there for a moment, lost in thought, seeing the face of that boy in there. It was hard to know how best to be kind to a boy like that. When I roused myself, I had much to do, so much. If I went down to the lobby of the hospital, some fool would surely delay me getting into a long-winded discussion. And there was nothing to discuss anymore. My report on the Beatty case was closed. There'd be no more trouble from that sort. And now there was no one inside in the corridor. I wanted to get out of this place. So I turned and walked quietly to the door.
Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy have discovered a strange castle in a valley on the planet Mars. Curiously, they make their way down a long corridor.
This place has the weirdest lighting, sir.
Yes, it seems to come from the walls and ceiling as if the surface were glowing.
I wonder where this corridor leads. It seems to go on forever.
Trick of perspective, Happy.
Hey, what happened? I can't walk.
Hap, look at the floor. It's getting transparent.
Smoke and rockets. It's disappearing. They're right from under us. Hey, Commander, we're falling!
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Revenge of Dr. Yeager. Breakfast time, Space Patrollers, the happiest time of the morning for all of you when you fill up your breakfast bowl like this with Rice Chex. Yes, Rice Chex, the triple treat cereal, tops three ways. Tops for taste, tops for size, tops for get up and go. Toasted 3 times until it's cookie, crisp, and crunchy. Every spoonful tastes like more. You bet Rice Chex' tops for taste, tops for size, has that modern bite-sized design. Size just right for a perfect bite. And it's hollow inside. It fills up with milk or cream, glides from your bowl right onto your spoon. That's easy, breezy eating. And gang, Rice Chex is tops for get up and go. And wow, after a good nourishing breakfast with Rice Chex, you're ready to swing into action in school or play. So, Space Patrollers, swing into action right away. Fill up your bowl every morning like Commander Corey and Cadet Happy with Rice Chex. Or for a neat whole wheat treat, try Wheat Chex. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. Tops for taste, tops for size, tops for get up and go. So get them today in the red and white checkerboard packages with a big full-color picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside and the terrific Space Patrol trading card on the inside. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Revenge of Dr. Yeager. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are in the Commander's space battle cruiser, the Terra 5, returning to the man-made planet Terra after a mission to Jupiter. Several thousand DUs inside the Mars orbit, Happy picks up a spaceship in the forward view scope.
It's a small private cruiser, Commander. There's no sign of a rocket blast. It must be in free fall.
What's its vector, Hap?
I haven't reckoned it yet, sir, but well, at the rate we're gaining on it, its velocity is very low, and it doesn't seem to be on any planetary vector.
Better call them.
Yes, sir. It looks like a drifter to me, all right, sir.
Emergency. Private cruiser M89 calling Space Patrol Battle Cruiser Terra 5.
Hey, they're calling us.
It's a faint signal for such a short distance.
I'll boost the gain, sir.
Private cruiser M89 calling Terra 5. I'm in trouble.
Menacori aboard Terra 5, the cruiser M89. What's your trouble?
I'm not sure. Power failure, I think.
We'll join airlocks with your ship and come aboard. Corey out. Happy standby to operate magnetic coupler.
Standing by, sir.
You'll both go aboard. Bring the emergency oxygen bottle just in case.
Thank heavens you're here.
Are you all right, miss?
Oh, yes, I am now.
The cabin air pressure seems okay, sir.
Oh, yes, everything's fine.
Just a minute. Didn't you space a phone an emergency? You said something about power failure.
I'm sorry, but I didn't know what else to do. You see, I was frightened.
Are you alone in this ship?
Well, yes, Commander. You see,
Happy, check that control panel.
Yes, sir.
What's your name, miss?
Lorna Stark.
Is this your ship?
Yes, I'm from Laurel City, Mars. You can check that.
I certainly will.
The instruments check, sir. The rocket controls are off, that's all.
Yes, that's right. I've been in a free fall for about a half an hour.
Why?
I was afraid someone was after me. I thought if they didn't see the rocket exhaust, I'd have a better chance. Oh, I was just praying for a Space Patrol ship to come along. You have no idea how relieved I am.
You'd better have a good reason for faking a distress call. Who's after you and why?
Well, I'm afraid it's going to sound very strange. That's why I wanted you to come aboard so we could talk privately. I was afraid to explain over the spaceophone.
I'm listening, Miss Stark.
Well, perhaps I'd better start at the beginning. Did you ever hear of a Dr. Yeager?
Yeager?
Wilhelm Yeager, the scientist and inventor.
Dr. Yeager's been dead for nearly 30 years.
Yes, I know. He and my father were friends. You've probably heard that several of Dr. Yeager's inventions were never made public, that they're hidden in a secret castle.
Dr. Yeager was quite a colorful personality from what I've read. A lot of fantastic legends have sprung up about him, but how does all this tie in with your fake emergency call?
Commander, that castle of Dr. Yeager's is not legend.
Yeager? Yeager. Sure. The fellow the old-time pilots talk about. The man who's supposed to have made all those frightful inventions. Weapons so terrible he never even wrote down his secrets.
He did write them down, Cadet. I've seen some of the designs.
Huh?
Designs for what, Miss Stark?
I don't recall them all now, but there was the lethal ray.
Now, just a minute. You mean the lethal ray actually existed?
It exists now.
Where? Who has it?
Well, nobody. It's still where Dr. Yeager hid it.
You don't know where it is?
No, but somebody thinks I do. That's why they're after me.
Well, who has reason to suspect that you know about Yeager's secrets?
A man named Carl Bracker. He once worked for my father. He was present when I opened the sealed package containing documents that Dr. Yeager gave my father. You see, Dr. Yeager left it up to my father's judgment whether certain inventions were to be revealed. One day, about 3 years ago, I came across that sealed package. Curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it.
Go on.
A moment later, my father and this Carl Bracker walked in. My father was furious with me. Right then and there, he destroyed the documents. He said Dr. Yeager was right, that people couldn't be trusted. I was ashamed and frightened. Neither Father nor I mentioned the matter again. Then after Father passed away, Bracker showed up.
And wanted you to tell him where Yeager's secrets are hidden?
Yes, but I told him I didn't know. He was angry. He said I'd be sorry, but he went away. Then a few days ago, this other man started following me. I just know Bracker sent him.
When you saw those documents, did you notice where Yeager's inventions were hidden?
Yes, but I've forgotten. I pushed it out of my mind. I didn't want to know.
Miss Stark, I want to give you a brainograph test.
You don't believe me?
Oh, that's not the point. If that information about Yeager is in your subconscious, someday you might recall it or be forced to reveal it. I want to find those inventions if they exist, to keep them from falling into the wrong hands.
And the brainograph will make me remember?
It'll put your thought images on a screen. Even those dim patterns and impressions your conscious mind isn't aware of. It's completely painless. Are you willing?
Well, of course.
Well, it'll be late when we get to Terra. I'll arrange for a room for you at the Terra Space Hotel with a guard at the door.
Guard?
You said someone was after you, remember? Let's get into my ship. You can tell me more about this Carl Bracker.
Early the next morning, Buzz and Happy arranged with Major Robertson, Space Patrol Security Chief, to set up a brainograph test. Then they hurried to the Terra Space Hotel to get Lorna Stark. They step out of the elevator and walk down the hall.
Room 2309, wasn't it, sir?
Yes. Say, where's the guard? He was to stay on duty in the hall until relieved.
The door's unlocked, sir.
Something's wrong here. Miss Stark.
Hey, Commander, look. It's the guard. He's on the floor, tied up and gagged.
Just a minute, Sergeant. Happy, untie him. I'll loosen the gag. There. Where's Miss Stark?
They took her away. I tried to stop them, but they slugged me.
They?
Yes, two men, a big one and a little fellow in a waiter's outfit. That's how he got close to me out in the hall. The little guy with the tray, he pulled a ray gun on me and forced me into the room. The big guy came in. Guess he'd been waiting around the turn in the hall.
Here's a waiter's coat and tray on the floor, sir.
How long ago did this happen?
About 2 hours ago. They really tied me up. I've been trying to...
What about Miss Stark? Did she know the men? Did she go willingly?
Well, she put up a squawk till the big guy got rough. She seemed to know him, called him by name. Let's see, Bracker. That's it, Bracker.
Hat, get on the phone to headquarters. Have them check the files on Carl Bracker. I want all the data on my desk when we get there.
This is all we have on Bracker, sir.
Is there a photo?
Yes, sir.
Sergeant, is this one of the men?
That's him, all right, sir.
What's his record, Hat?
Well, picked up 2 years ago in a space safety code violation, Section 23D, installing instruments in a spaceship without a license. Fined 50 credits.
Any address?
Let's see. Just the place he works. Cosmocraft Instrument Company, 18 Newton Place, Terra.
Cosmocraft.
Spelled with 2 Ks. Real cute. Merton Yost, Chief Engineer and Consultant.
I've heard of that outfit. They rebuild instruments and deal in second-hand electronics equipment for spaceships. Personally, I wouldn't trust them to repair a sundial.
I wonder if Bracker still works there.
Now, come on. We'll drop around and see if he's renewed his license.
From the outside, Cosmocraft Instrument Company appears to be like the other small, independent manufacturing concerns that thrive in the clean, handsome buildings on Newton Street. But a visitor would find the interior rather uninviting. The office is littered with papers and out-of-date technical books. A small, nervous man sits at a desk, glancing first at the street door, then toward the back room that serves as a workshop. In the shop, Lorna Stark sits huddled on a packing case, while a large man towers threateningly over her.
I'm tired of playing games, Lorna. Now let's have it. Where's Yeager's castle?
I don't know. I tell you, I don't know.
Don't give me that! Some of those papers, the lethal ray and all those other secret weapons are at the castle, aren't they?
Oh, I've forgotten, I tell you. Believe me, Bracker, I've forgotten.
Hey, cut out that noise. I can hear you throughout in the office.
She's playing coy, Yost. But I'll get it out of her.
We shouldn't have brought her here.
All right, get back out there and shut the door. Suppose somebody comes in.
All right, Bracker, but please keep quiet.
All right, Lorna. Now, you'd better talk. Where's Yeager's castle?
I don't know. I don't know.
This is it, Hap. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, gentlemen?
I'm Commander Corey.
Yes, Commander Corey. What can I do for you?
Does Carl Bracker still work here?
Bracker? Hey, Bracker, let's see.
I shouldn't think in a place of this size you'd have much trouble remembering who's in the payroll.
Mr. Bracker left us just last week. I don't know where he is.
Is there anyone else I can talk to?
No, I'm all alone here this morning. My assistant's out on the job at the spaceport. Sorry, I can't help you.
All alone, huh? Come on, Hap.
You can't go back there?
Oh, we can, huh?
You heard what I said?
Oh, you want to play rough?
Good work, Hap.
Stop it, you're hurting me.
All right, Bracker. Let go of her and get your hands up.
Oh, Commander Corey.
Get him way up, Bracker. Search him, Hap.
Yes, sir. He had this under his jacket, sir. A blast gun.
Commander, I remember now. Yeager's castle is in Mars. It's in the Hartog Hills.
We'll discuss it later, Miss Stark. All right, Bracker, just take it easy and come over here.
Stay right where you are, gentlemen, and don't move. I said don't move. I can shoot the girl before either of you turn around.
Yost, I've been wondering what happened to you.
Drop your weapons.
It's his play, Hap.
Sorry, sir. I thought I clobbered him good.
That's being very smart, gentlemen.
Thanks, Yost. I'll just pick up my gun and add a few finishing touches.
Oh, no, you don't.
Here, Lorna. That takes care of your space patrol friend. Yost, get the surface car ready while I bind and gag the girl. We're getting out of here.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. This is Dick Tufeld in Los Angeles with the story of one of the fastest planes in the world and a word from the man who test flies it, Joe Lynch. It's North American's Air Force F-86D Sabre Jet Interceptor. Speed well over 700 miles per hour. Wingspan is 37 feet. Length 41. Cruising range 500 miles. Now, by special tape recording made at International Airport, the well-known test pilot of the Sabre, Joe Lynch.
The D is a one-man interceptor, so when you fly it, you're really on your own. That's why I see to it that I'm in good condition all the time. And one way to stay in good condition is by eating a good breakfast cereal like Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. They're just packed full of energy, and they taste swell. I think you'll like them, too.
No other cereal, puffed or flaked, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. So take a tip from Joe Lynch, George Welch, and other top test pilots. Make your cereals Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Revenge of Dr. Yeager. Buzz and Happy burst in upon Carl Bracker as he attempted to force Lorna Stark to reveal the hiding place of sinister weapons invented by the late Dr. Yeager. In the excitement of the rescue, Lorna blurted the location of Yeager's hidden castle, just as Bracker's partner, Merton Yost, intervened. Fearing resistance would endanger Lorna, Buzz and Happy surrendered their weapons. Bracker knocked the space patrollers unconscious, then he and Yost escaped, taking the girl with them. Now, an hour later, Buzz and Happy find themselves locked in the repair shop of the dingy spaceship instrument factory on Terra.
Wow. Wait till I get a hold of that guy, Bracker. He raised a lump on my head the size of Mars' first moon.
Mars? Huh? That's where Yeager's castle is. Did you hear Lorna just as we came in?
I was sort of busy. If I did hear it, Bracker's gun knocked it out of my mind. Whereabouts on Mars, did she say?
Yes. It was right then that Yost came in, but I think I recall it. The Hartog Hills.
Hartog Hills? That's a new one on me, and I thought I knew Martian geography.
It's a range a few hundred miles northwest of Marcab City. And come to think of it, it's a good place to hide a castle.
We're locked in.
That isn't going to last more than a few seconds. We'll notify headquarters that we're blasting off from Mars.
Well, gee, Commander, do you think Bracker will go there? Doesn't he know that you heard Lorna tell where the castle was?
He's gone pretty far already, Hap. He may figure that it's worth taking a chance on getting his hands on Yeager's weapons. Those rumors are even half true. One man could wipe out an army with the lethal ray alone.
Wow. Let's hope we find the castle before Bracker does.
The door, Hap.
Oh, yes, sir. Allow me. Oh.
Here, Hap, I'll help you out. Now to the spaceport. Hurry.
Yes, sir.
Merton Yost sits hunched over the controls of a private cruiser, watching the red-tinged disk of the planet Mars grow larger in the viewscope. He turns as Carl Bracker shoulders his way through the narrow opening into the control compartment.
Can't you get any more acceleration out of this old bucket?
Take it easy, Bracker. We'll be over the Hartog Hills right after sunup, the way I figured.
You better contact Jacobs at Marcab City. We'll meet him out in the desert. He can fly us to the Hartog Hills to look for the castle.
Smart idea. When we locate Yeager's hideout, there won't be a grounded ship there to give us away.
Sometime later, another ship enters the thin, cold atmosphere of Mars. As Buzz handles the controls, Cadet Happy compares the terrain in the viewscope screen with the detailed 3D projector chart of this sector of the surface of Mars.
Hartog Hills appearing in the screen now, sir.
And so far, no sign of any ship that might be Bracker.
I'll bet he didn't have the nerve.
Well, let's not underestimate him, Hap.
No, sir. You sure were right when you said the Hartog Hills were a good place to hide a castle. Those rock formations are sure confusing.
I'll cut our altitude, Hap, and place back and forth across the range. Now the viewscope scanning beam to a small arc.
Yes, sir.
Crisscrossing the range of hills, Buzz and Happy examined the terrain from every angle, peering down into steep-walled canyons, bouncing scanning beams off weirdly formed rocks, and probing into vegetation. Then, for a fraction of a second, a formation appears in the viewscope that causes Buzz and Happy to exchange glances.
Well, was it or wasn't it, sir?
I'm going to circle back and make another pass over that canyon at a slightly different angle of approach. What we saw might have been a natural formation.
I've been staring at different shapes of rocks for so long, I don't think I'd recognize a castle if it has a sign on it.
We'll know in a minute, Hap. That's it, Happy.
Yes, sir. I can make out columns and even steps. But wow, what a job of camouflage.
Yeager built the entire facade of an enormous building right against the wall of a canyon. Magnificent.
Yeah, if we'd flown over at another angle, well, we never would have seen it.
Well, there's no sign of another spaceship near here.
Yeah, but there's plenty of room to land in front of the castle.
Well, we'll land and have a close look at Yeager's castle.
A few moments later, Buzz and Happy stand before a beautiful facade of a building constructed against the wall of the cliff. Broad steps lead up to a gigantic door.
Gee, Commander, now that we're right in front of it, I wonder why we didn't notice it from the ship.
Every line of that building was cut to blend with the cliff when seen from a height. It's a beautiful job, Hat.
Yeah. Look at the size of that door. We'll probably have to get something from the ship to blast it open.
Let's go up and examine it first.
Uh-oh. Commander, the door, it's swinging open. Somebody's in there.
Have your ray gun ready, Hat?
Yes, sir.
There's no sign of anyone. The door may have opened automatically. I'll go in first, Hat.
Smoke and rockets. Look at the size of this hall. Hey, Commander, the door, it's closing.
We better get out while we can. Hurry.
Hey, now the door's swinging open again.
It is automatic. You don't have to worry. Let's explore the castle.
I'd sure like to find those weapons that Yeager hid.
It may take time, judging by the size of this place.
I wonder where all this light is coming from. There aren't any windows.
The light seems to come from the walls and ceiling. It's at the surface we're glowing.
Imagine building a place like this inside a hill where nobody can see it. Yeager was a genius, all right, but I think he was a little nuts.
Well, at least he was sane enough to try to keep dangerous weapons out of the hands of people he thought might misuse them.
Yeah. I wonder where this corridor leads. Seems to go on forever.
Trick of perspective, Happy.
Hey, what happened? I can't walk.
Have to look at the floor. It's getting transparent.
Smoke and rockets. It's disappearing. Right from under us. Commander, we're falling!
Buzz and Happy plunge downward in total darkness. Any moment they expect to land with shattering suddenness on some hard surface. But seconds pass, and they keep plunging down into the blackness.
Commander, I'm slowing down.
Yes, so am I.
Oh, we're at the bottom. Wherever that is.
Stand right where you are, Happy. It isn't safe to move in this pitch blackness.
When that floor opened up from under us, I never expected to move again.
Lucky I brought my atomo light.
That won't be necessary, Commander.
Who's that?
You'll see when I turn on the lights. There.
Bracker.
Now, don't reach for your weapons. It'll be the last move you make. Raise your hands.
Do as he says, Happy.
Yours. Take the ray guns.
All right, Bracker.
Bracker, what have you done with Lorna Stark?
She's perfectly safe in the next room. You're probably wondering just what happened to you. You're now in a lower level of Yeager's castle. You were lowered by one of Yeager's amazing inventions, a levitation beam, controlled by this panel here.
But the floor just dissolved under us.
That part of the floor up there is actually the top cross-section of the levitation beam. By cutting the beam completely off, I could have dropped you to your death.
I suppose you want a medal.
Yes. Open the door. I'm sure the commander would like to talk to Miss Stark. Get moving, you two.
What are you going to do with us, Bracker?
We'll see in a moment.
Commander Coy.
In there, both of you.
Commander, they found out everything. The big room where Dr. Yeager hid all his horrible weapons.
That's right, Corey. Yeager left full instructions. Now, you three stay in here a few moments. Then we shall see how the lethal ray works.
You aren't going to use it on us.
Exactly. There's a small hand model that should serve the purpose quite nicely. I'll be right back.
We've got to try to find a way out of here before they get back with that lethal ray.
We've got to stop them, Commander. With those weapons, they can wipe out whole cities. And it's all my fault.
No, that's not going to help.
But look what was in the room with the weapons. The paper that Dr. Yeager left.
Let us see it. I had hoped that this message would never be read. The fact that you are reading these words is proof that human beings cannot be trusted. Therefore, you deserve to be destroyed. Knowing there was evil and destruction concealed here, you came willingly. Very well, use these forces that I have discovered. Destroy yourselves and improve the universe. Dr. Wilhelm Yeager.
Wow.
A very bitter man.
He was right. Human beings can't be trusted. I proved that.
Everybody makes mistakes. Dr. Yeager made one when he assumed everyone was evil.
And Bracker made a mistake when he thought there was no other way out of this room. Look behind this tapestry.
A door. See if it's locked.
It opens into a long hall.
Come on, quickly, before Bracker comes back. Hurry, Lorna.
Well, if only we can find our way out of the castle.
Well, anyway, there's plenty of light.
Once we get out of here and get to the ship, we can call the Space Patrol Squadron and destroy the castle if we have to.
But if Dr. Yeager's weapons are as powerful as he said they are, couldn't Bracker and yours fight off all the spaceships in the universe?
They might get some of us, but we could keep them holed up here at least.
Smoking rockets as sure as a long corridor. What did I hit?
There's a big mirror across the corner of the passage. The passage turns here.
Sure enough. And the mirror's at an angle so you can see around the corner. It looked like the passage went straight ahead.
Up we are!
It's Bracker. He's after us.
Around the corner, quickly.
Stop!
Commander,
what are we going to do?
this is the end of the passage.
Must be a door here. Yes, there is. Oh, it's locked.
We're trapped.
Bracker's coming for us.
Yeah, I can see him in the mirror coming up the corridor. And he's got a weapon.
Come on, Yost. We got him now. They can't get out. Use the lethal ray. I want to get a little closer.
Commander, does he think that lethal ray shoots around corners?
He doesn't know he's aiming at a mirror. He thinks the corridor is straight.
Yeah, but, sir, what if the mirror reflects the ray toward us?
Go on, Bracker. What are you waiting for? I'm waiting for him to plead for mercy. Well, Corey, haven't you anything to say?
Don't talk. Keep perfectly quiet.
All right, then. We'll see how Yeager's lethal ray works.
They're gone. It destroyed them completely.
Yeah. Very satisfactory. But I had the regulator set unnecessarily high. Look what the ray did to the wall.
Blasted a hole in it.
They're coming closer to examine it. They'll jump them when they reach the turn in the passage.
Yes, sir.
Lorna, keep absolutely quiet.
Incredible, isn't it, Yost? You'd never know that a few seconds ago 3 human beings were standing here.
Now, Hap, Bracker, look out!
I'll take that weapon, Bracker.
All right, Bracker, get up.
Corey, I saw you disintegrate.
Yeah, the 3 of them. I saw it, too. You can't always believe what you see. You were looking at a reflection. The lethal ray merely destroyed a mirror on the wall behind it.
A mirror?
That's right. It's the first and last bit of damage Dr. Yeager's lethal ray or his other weapons are going to inflict. Come on, Hap. Let's get these crooks up to the ship.
Yes, sir.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Hey, Hap, where are you hiding your rice checks and wheat checks these days?
Right here, Captain Tufeld, in this top-secret Space Patrol file cabinet. Hey, you got to be careful where you keep the checks around here. They taste so good, anybody who sees them eats them.
Are you filing them under C for checks?
Smoking rockets, no. Under T for tops. Oh, one thing for sure, Captain. It's no secret that rice checks and wheat checks are tops. 3 ways. For taste, for size, and for get up and go.
Yes, sir, gang. Hap is 3 times right. Checks are tops 3 ways. For taste, sunny gold rice checks or power-rich wheat checks. Delicious right out of the box for snacks or out of the bowl with milk or cream. Tops for size. Checks are made in that modern, streamlined, bite-sized design for super easy eating. And checks are tops for get up and go. Real Space Patrol get up and go. After a good breakfast with checks, you're off to a blazing, lightning-fast start every morning.
Jumpin' Jupiter, Captain Tufeld. What are we waiting for? Hey, let's get going on the checks right now. Space Patrollers, why don't you get going? Go get checks today.
Look for them in the red and white checkerboard packages with the swell picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside and the wonderful free Space Patrol trading card on the inside. Rice checks,
wheat checks.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are captives aboard a spaceship from another galaxy. In a desperate attempt to warn the United Planets of an attack, the 2 space patrollers are trying to master the bewildering controls of the spaceophone in the strange ship.
Well, gee, Commander, this certainly doesn't look like any transmitter I ever saw before.
Hold it, Hap. I think you've got it. Don't touch anything else. Make the call.
Smoking rockets. Commander, look.
It's the robot. Zervok sent him to stop us.
He's a monster. And he's coming right for us.
Get that call out, Hap. I'll try to hold that thing off.
Space Patrol, emergency. All units. It's got me.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Visitor from Galaxy 9, when Rice Checks and Wheat Checks again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devereaux. Other players were Virginia Hewitt, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Rice Checks and Wheat Checks again present Space Patrol. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.